Me?
Oh my god. Okay, and I also forgot to change this. Hello again. I don't know what happened. When I went to go turn the stream on last time, when I went to go turn the stream on last time, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but it started a brand new, even though I had it set up, it started a brand new, what do you call it? YouTube, stream. Spoon, you are live, sir.
I know. Sorry, this is
Okay, so it
background
started
music
it
for you to
started a
lose your
brand
shit
new
to.
it overrode the stream I had already set up and started a new one, and so I couldn't see, like, the chat was not working correctly and all this kind of stuff. Oh, which was incredibly infuriating, and then it looked like it was actually working, so I don't know, it just seemed easier to start it, all over again because it was too fucked. So, you know, whatever. I don't know what the hell happened. I think I have an idea, which is that, I think what happened is that, because I went to go set up doing Restream and then did it in the wrong order, so I accidentally set up the I always do this, or I keep doing it and trying not to. But because I set up the Restream thing after I set up the YouTube one, when I went to go make the Restream link, and I couldn't do it, and it just reset everything. So, however, and it is a bit of a sad, for some people who have passed away this past week, in a way that is quite sad. Other people I'm not so sad about. I'm also gonna have to still set some stuff up here because I've had to do all of this from scratch. Very cool. Spoon, can
Oh,
you
fuck
please
this
talk for a
one.
moment about literally anything while I try to set this up?
Literally anything. Don't know what that
Yes,
means.
that's not working.
We could talk
Oh
about
my
rugby.
god. This is
What
not
what what
going
did
well.
you?
Oh, fuck. Oh, it is working, okay. Alright, okay. Oh my god, I'm incredibly stressed out now, so
Challenge
I'm gonna
averted?
have to have, like, can you hear me, Spoon? Or am I
Yes.
talking to myself? Okay, I don't know. Anyway,
No.
holy fuck. So now I'm gonna be stressed as fuck the rest of the night, I guarantee it, because of this absolute fucking bullshit throwing me off my game immediately. Fucking
If you're
A.
happy and you know it, clap your hands.
No. So, and I'm not happy for, well, you know, I'm not happy that the Zogbot is dead necessarily, because I guess he had some sort of family. He didn't have a wife or children.
I was on the timing, and that was just really good.
Also, as I don't even know if I got to last time or not, but,
Oh,
Bill is not
that
feeling
was
well.
funny.
He wasn't feeling well last week either. So, and he just, like, woke up
Oh.
from maybe, like, an hour and a half ago. So he's not joining us tonight either. I might be less stressed if he were here, but he's not.
No.
So so, unfortunately. And speaking of, Arceon, says, "Hey, Bill, I heard you like playing with
Yes.
your sword, so here's some, stimulating money." Yeah, I just need to get that, taken care of, yes.
Uh,
Oh my god, though. Thank
Oh,
you, Arceon.
you're
Bro.
fine.
No, well,
You
look,
take these streams very seriously. We are here to mostly shitpost, and in this case, make fun of people who died who no one is gonna miss. Like that's just the reality of it.
well, I mean, the MAGA people,
what?
they're very, very upset. The, like, hardcore MAGAs, they're very, very upset that
Are
Lindsey
they?
Graham, yes, a guy who hated Donald Trump, when he ran in
Why are
2016.
we why are we glad he's why are we not glad he's been removed from
Because
the
he
Turkey
was
plane?
Israel's
What
strongest soldier, and they're all very, very pro-Israel at this point. That's because, I
oh,
mean, like,
those MAGAs. Okay, the MIGAs.
MAGA is MIGA now. There is
The
no difference.
Vegas.
Everyone who was that strong MAGA base have all become, you know, fuck America. We don't really care. It's really about
Yeah.
Israel, obviously.
Mags versus
I don't
MIGAs,
know how
yeah.
those people fucking function, if I'm being completely honest, but whatever. So, That's how they do it. I mean, the real difference is, of course, is why did Lindsey Graham, for example, why did he come around on Trump? He hated Trump in 2016. Why did he come around on Trump? Well, because Trump came
Because the
around
most
on
important
Israel.
thing in my entire life is Israel. I'll support Israel till the day I die.
And
That can be
he
arranged,
has
actually.
been wanting to bomb Iran his entire life. That has been his life goal for his 40 years or whatever in government. He has wanted nothing
Oh.
more than to bomb Iran. So he got his wish and he passed away. He
They
died as
didn't
he
expect
lived
Iran to actually hit back,
in a
though.
Ukrainian drone facility or shortly thereafter. Perhaps having one shoved up somewhere the sun don't shine. I don't know. Those were his proclivities, allegedly. We did talk about him earlier this year because he is and was, of course,
There's a Republican who's
gay
gay.
for
I'll be
Israel.
damned.
Very
Yeah.
gay for Israel, Lindsey Graham was indeed. And there have been Mitch McConnell, another neocon, he's been missing essentially for a month, and he has posted.
Cocaine Mitch.
Yes, Turtle Mitch
Yeah.
has posted a picture of proof of life, which itself looks suspicious, but trust me, I assure you that
It's
the
old.
image is. Yes, and I assure you that it's not only not old, but that it's modern and legitimate because an intern at the New York Post double checked it. Anyway, like
I'm
this is
Someone
legitimately
touched him like
convinced that
2013.
Arsion.
this heat wave in the United States is the gates of hell opening up to welcome Lindsey
Yes,
Graham and Mitch McConnell.
indeed. Oh, and speaking of, Angry Biscuit is joining us tonight. He is often in the chat. I'm sorry I forgot to introduce you because in my fucking trying to deal with technology nonsense. But yes, we are joined tonight by Angry Biscuit. Thank you for joining us, friend.
Howdy.
Let's see. Arsion for 5 says, I give a lot of money to build sword fund. Here's a little something for Aiden's martini fund. Much love, Aiden. Thank you, Arsion, so much. I'm calming down. I'm like reducing my anxiety levels. I
What she's
hate
trying to say
tech
is
stuff.
she has had a difficult evening with a load of technical mishaps, and she would very much appreciate if she could have just 5 seconds to calm down and say all kinds of crazy shit.
No, I'm okay. It's just when tech stuff goes wrong, because I always feel like I don't know what's going on in the first place, and then I like extra don't know what's going on. So it's very stressful for me, just because after doing this for
You
years, I still
remind
get
me.
confused.
You remind me so much of my mother. Anytime anything goes wrong before something she's been planning for a while, she freaks the fuck out and is super stressed
Yeah,
for the entire
it's
event.
really stressful. It's really stressful if you are trying to do something and it fucks up. Also, there have been some, in addition to the deaths of Lindsey Graham and the not death or a presumed potential death of Mitch McConnell, there was the confirmed absolute murder of Ann Widdecombe by a, at this point confirmed, when they first announced that story, all that the police would say is that it was a white male, because of course that's what you have to get out immediately, you know, and the only time you do find out the race of the perpetrator anymore is if they're white. But as it turns out, as everyone kind of predicted, given Ann Widdecombe's political history, it's a deranged fat commie who drove like 240 miles to get to her home. There's some very strange stuff going around regarding the death of Ann Widdecombe, including the fact that she was supposed to be on the BBC and was texting with somebody from the BBC up until several minutes before she was likely killed. They realized that she stopped responding, and yet it took a while for anyone to report her missing. So that's a bit odd as well. And then there was the passing, of course, of one
In
of my favorite
fairness,
actors, Sam Neill, very unfortunately.
in fairness, it is a bit unusual to go, well, she stopped responding, therefore she may be dead.
She was older.
That's
I think
a
when you're in your 70s, you start thinking that stuff, you know?
I'm honestly surprised the
not that
communists went
suddenly.
through all that effort.
Well, I mean,
I don't think the communists have
Lindsey
put
Graham
that
apparently
much
dropped
effort
dead.
into anything. Yeah.
What is the rule? It's not, is it Coulter's law? I don't think so. What's the rule where celebrities always die in sets or something? Or I guess politicians do in this case, or politically involved people.
Somebody's
Although,
dying 3 or something.
yeah, although again, Sam Neill was of course not a politician, but one of my favorite actors. He's probably most well known for playing Alan Grant in Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, yeah.
Yes, which is of course a fantastic film, but I love him in his various horror roles, Possession, Event Horizon, At the Mouth of Madness.
We just watched that yesterday, actually.
Yeah, yeah, in
Oh.
memory. But of course, as much as and I'm a big horror fan, but as much as I loved his horror roles and he was a great horror actor, he was my favorite film of all time and my favorite performance from Sam Neill is as Merlin in the titular 1998 made-for-television film, allegedly. I'm not so sure about it, film, Merlin. I love that movie. It's not just Sam Neill, voice at work by
Oh.
James Earl Jones, Miranda Richardson, Isabella Rossellini, Martin Short, John Gielgud, Rutger Hauer. A star-studded cast that for some reason just aired on like television and then as produced by the Hallmark Channel. I don't know, something strange happened there with that kind of cast on location filming, massive budget for a made-for-TV special miniseries that was clearly also not made to be a miniseries. If you watch the full movie, in what I believe, which the DVD cut, which I believe is the original cut, and it's 3 hours long. So I love that movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. I grew up with a crush on Sam Neill, so that was very sad this week to hear that he passed. He was also just a very cool guy. But shall we start with one
Seems
I'm
like a
not
mellow
so
dude.
sad about? He did seem like a really chill, mellow dude. Actually, before we
That
get
that
into,
was a long tangent on a TV series from God knows how long ago.
I know so much of it. Oh, I think it's a film. It works as a film. Completely. It's just a long film. But actually, before we get
It's
into,
Aiden. If she likes something, she goes autistically nutty about it.
yes, yeah, and
I mean,
the,
I do the
I know
same
a lot about
fucking
that
thing.
movie. I've seen it a million times. Yeah, it is.
I have like 4 shelves in my house dedicated to like car models and battleship models.
Yeah,
I have the HMS Hood
everybody's
coming
got
in.
their thing. Everybody's got their thing. Yo, right. Did he put on a terrible accent in Peaky Blinders? Did he? Because even though he's a Kiwi, he was born in England, I think, and he can do an English accent quite well. Obviously, he does in Merlin, but he normally does in most of his roles. He does an English accent, even though he is a Kiwi. But I think born in England. I think so. Moved. Let me double check that. Moved. I know he obviously moved to New Zealand and lived there for most of his life. But that is quite sad. That is quite sad. But Aiden, what do you think of the portrayal of Merlin in That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis? I don't know if I've read that. Oh, but that's a good segue to what I was going to say there, which is that of all of the adaptations of the Arthurian cycle, the 1998 made-for-television film Merlin is not a faithful one. It takes a whole bunch of artistic liberties. However, it is my favorite adaptation of it, besides Excalibur. The Excalibur and Merlin, the 1998 one, I think are the two best adaptations of the Arthurian cycle. Even though,
Then
yeah,
again, aren't there like
Awesome.
200 different versions of the like Arthurian story?
well, yes. So the Arthur cycle, why people use that term is that it refers to the broad myth, because there are so many different versions outside
Mm.
of like the more historical Mabinogion. So and Le Morte d'Arthur. There's all sorts of legends that go into this, and it's not just one source either. So yeah, if you're into Arthurian legends, I also you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. The whole 3 hour uncut film is just free to watch on YouTube if you're interested. We might watch it at some point. We watched it not too long ago on one of the either on the Broken Crown Discord or somewhere.
I
Anywho,
had a cat named Merlin.
oh,
He's dead now.
oh no, poor kitty. Uh, before we
Yeah.
get into Lindsey Graham, because that is look,
We have to get Aiden to watch gangster movies because she has shockingly
no,
no recollection of any crime movies, which is just
I've never
why.
seen like I've never seen Scarface. I've never seen The Godfather. I've never seen any gangster
Have you
movies.
seen Have you seen Casino or Goodfellas?
I've not seen Goodfellas. I've not seen
You
Casino. No, I
you haven't
What?
seen fucking Goodfellas? What the fuck,
I
Aiden?
no, I don't like gangsters. I don't like gangsters.
Why? Watch this.
Because they're
It's good
Italian.
movies though.
Goodfellas
You don't need to
isn't the
like
Goodfellas
mobsters
about
to
the
know that.
Irish mob?
Okay, I'd be more willing to watch them about the Irish mob, yeah, than the Italians.
Watch The Sopranos. Just at least
I've
watch
never
The
seen The
Sopranos.
Sopranos. No, I've never seen any of it.
Fucking hell, Aiden.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know why. I
You're
just somehow have
breaking
gone.
my heart.
I've gone my whole life without being exposed to any of these movies. It probably is because my parents
Hasn't
don't like them
seen
either.
Scarface, all the Godfather, Goodfellas,
No,
Casino.
no,
Have you seen Heat?
no.
Have you seen anything with Robert De Niro?
I have seen. I saw him in Meet the Fuckers or Fockers, whatever it
Okay.
was.
Oh yeah, have you
I've
seen
seen
Lock,
Robert
Stock,
De
and Two
Niro in other
Smoking
stuff.
Barrels?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I love Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. That's a great film.
Okay, you've at least seen that. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good movie.
yeah.
But just no
And
no
Snatch.
gangster American. God damn it, Aiden.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't talk about that film, the
Have you
second
seen
one I
American
said, because
Gangster?
I no. But I can't talk about how much I like that second. I think that's the Guy Ritchie film because I can't say I love name a film as it has
What, Snatch?
yes, as it has an implication.
Yeah, but if you just say, "I like Snatch," then everyone knows you
I know
mean the
you do.
film.
Do
We're
they?
we're not 5-year-olds going like, "Ha, she said Snatch,
He said
You
he
talking
likes
about
it.
Guy Ritchie? Yeah. Yeah, oh, fag.
Aramaic
Eh,
Discourse says Lindsey Graham died as he lived, vigorously advocating for homosexuality amongst young boys and having enough coke in his system to down a city. Yeah, well, I put in the
Yeah, probably.
thumbnail the last I believe. Now this might
It
not
would
be
explain the
true,
heart attack, actually.
but I think the last picture of him that he posted or that was posted of him was allegedly that picture of him holding the phallically shaped drone that I put in the thumbnail for this video. So that's and there's
Wait, that's a real
considering that
picture?
yes, and considering that what Donald Trump said. Oh my
Oh,
God.
no way.
Trump said in
Yes,
a
I heard
Trump
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 said
was on the
it's not
phone
suspicious.
and he said his body he said part of his body literally exploded. So I'm starting to think that the idea that a Ukrainian drone blew up inside of Lindsey Graham's ass has some veracity to it, as confirmed by the
Or he
president
was hit by
himself.
a drone, which would be
Yes.
just hilariously
Well,
ironic considering the
the
picture.
MAGA first people, make Israel great again types in what is the predominant main cluster
For
left of
once, it might
MAGA.
actually have been the Russians,
It might have actually been the Russians, but they really want to blame the
which would be
Ukrainians because
really,
Russia,
really
Russia,
funny.
Russia is a little bit old hat now, and it doesn't work with the people who you want to get angry about Lindsey Graham, right? Like the those mega people,
Also, considering
they're not super
like,
anti-Russia, you know.
also
well,
considering how hated he
yeah.
is, that would actually be a boon for Putin.
Yeah,
I would
And
rather more
they want to
support
blame
go
Iran
towards
though, because
Putin
of course
than
they do.
fucking
Sorry,
Zelensky.
sorry, say
yeah,
again.
same here, actually. I'd
I
rather
said I would
go to
much
Putin than
rather
you,
more support
Zelensky.
go, yeah, than to Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Lindsey Graham never saw a war he didn't want to start or some people he didn't want to bomb. But
I
before
want a
we get
bomb.
into that, I do want to start because we've not talked about this much at all, and it has been happening the last week, which is the trial against Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk last fall, right? So it seems like they've
Hopefully
That's
that
gotten
only
happened.
just now happening.
yes. Well, it takes a while to put I
What
mean,
the?
yeah, it takes about a year for a murder trial, and particularly something like this, where
Bureaucracy, shithead.
yeah. By the way, like what about his like transgender boyfriend? Did had to sit there and watch a lot of this too. The one he did all this for allegedly. So let's read about it a little bit. I've actually not been keeping up with this because I don't know if Tyler Robinson really was a deranged lunatic on the left. There's so many of them. That is always a very real possibility, as we will discuss with the murder of Ann Widdecombe. Or if he is a patsy, or what? I don't really know, and I don't. I, I'm
Probably more likely with the patsy.
I'm not. I'm obviously somebody killed Charlie Kirk. You know. I don't
The
believe in
only the
the
only thing I really know about the recent stuff with all this is this whole beef between Candace Owens and her theories about it, and like
Candace.
the Turning Point USA. I've been seeing that all over my feed, and I'm like, can everybody just shut the fuck up, please, for 5 seconds?
Candace Owens has made herself like she's been doing well for a long time by basically being politics for women, and by that I mean it's gossip, conspiracy, nut job stuff, which
Schizo.
is
Yeah.
schizo. Which, by the way,
Hmm.
is what made Alex Jones a shit ton of money, and then lost him a shit ton of money eventually. But her, we have to look back, go back in time in your brain a little bit. Remember how this started with Candace Owens? So she's been around for forever. She started out. She did that social autopsy stuff when she was like more of a leftoid where oh this way you can check up to see what everyone's wrong think opinions are so that you can fire them or unfriend
Yeah.
them or
Now we
whatever
have
it
the
is.
federal government to do that.
Right, well that's how Candace Owens started out, was on the left. She made a transition to the right, and her big thing that really started to pop her off in this space about 2-3 years ago now was claiming that Emmanuel Macron's wife was a man, to the point where she's been sued. I don't know actually what the outcome of that's been, but sued for to shut up
A lot
about
of money,
calling
yeah.
Macron's wife a man. So, and that's very, I think, feminine coded. The way that she handled it too. Look, I am not going to Candace Owens is a very entertaining woman when she wants to be, to a very specific demographic of women who like gossip. You know what I mean? And she essentially
Schizo.
is, yeah, schizo stuff. She's the woman's Alex Jones. She fills that
Yeah,
role
she's the
well.
OG schizo poster.
So she wasn't always like that, but she has been for a while, and that's got her a lot of money. So no fucking, shame there. But she also got really big, obviously, because she was personal friends with Charlie Kirk. And for the last year, since his assassination, she's floated all kinds of different theories about, you know, uh, exploding bullets and stuff like this. I don't even know all of them because there's a lot of them. Basically, anything that is other than the conventional, media establishment media narrative, which is that Tyler Robinson got up onto the top of a building and shot Charlie Kirk in the neck. Anything else outside of that, I think Candace will entertain and has entertained. I'm not sure if I believe
Every
that either, by the way, the official media narrative.
yeah,
Some stuff about it doesn't make a lot of sense. But we covered that last year.
some of the some of the stuff I have heard from her and some of the people who follow her and believe her is what?
Deranged.
Okay, I have a schizophrenic, drug addicted uncle up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
he genuinely believes he is the anointed second coming of Christ. He makes more
true
sense
Shademaster.
than the shit I have seen online.
No, Shademaster makes a good point. He says, "How dare you compare that Alex to that unhinged Void?" I agree. Before, I hope you're still there, Minnesota. Because sorry, I just saw your chat. A Minnesota Fats, who's been a member for 42 months, says, "Hey boss, can't stay long. Don't know if you saw, but Stallone's getting a biopic about production of Rocky. The trailer just dropped. Check it out. Oh shit, very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I've not seen all the Rocky films, but I have seen the first one. I imagine you've seen a lot. You've seen all of them, Spoon. It seems like your kind of film. I also haven't seen a lot of sports movies. My favorite sports movie is Moneyball. So, like,
Yes, yes, I have seen all of them repeatedly.
What's
you
the
struck me as a
what's
Rocky
the
fan.
what's the dodgeball movie?
Uh,
Isn't it
Is it
just called
just
Dodgeball?
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it was a
I've seen
comedy.
that one.
There was a comedy. Then there was
Yeah.
that Lady Ballers film that the Daily Wire put out last year or the year before.
Yeah.
Jesus, that looked
The
fucking
the
abysmal.
the the primary reason why I remember Dodgeball is because immediately after we got done watching the film, I was at a friend's birthday party. As soon as the film was done,
Will Ferrell's in
one
that,
of
isn't
the
he?
kids
Yeah.
at the yeah, I think so. But as soon as the film was done, one of the kids walked into his the kid's dad's garage, picked up a wrench, walked back inside, and immediately pelted it at the head of one of the other kids.
Jeez.
It's-
Speaking of the Daily Wire and their films, I think they're
oh
struggling. Well, I
God.
think I know that they're struggling really hard. With they've been laying people off for a long time. So that whole idea that they were going to launch a whole media empire making non-political or no, or like it wasn't non-political, but it was alternative to Hollywood films that are fucking god awful has not gotten off the ground. And too
I
bad,
wonder
so
why.
sad, Benny Boy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's fucking
Couldn't
retarded
possibly.
and he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
No. Oh no.
No.
TJ France, who's been a member for 9 months, says, Ave Crown Crew, blessed stream upon ye, R.I.P. Sam Neill. Grab yourself some Pervitin to help make it through the stream. I'm too excited as it is because of the mess up in the beginning. I don't need any Pervitin. I don't need that in general. I did have coffee. It was this morning, but I have had some. Any,
Everton. Where the
Oh
hell would
God.
you find that?
what, Pervitin, the stuff they gave soldiers in World War II.
Yes, I'm aware.
It's,
That's why I asked. Where would you find that?
well, I don't know where. Oh, you can,
I'm aware of what it is, Aiden.
oh, okay. You can get that
It involves the gems. Of
the
course, I would
probably
know
best
where it is.
modern version is the super high caffeinated chocolate that they give soldiers. It's got an extreme amount of caffeine in it. Don't they still do that? Maybe they don't anymore. I might be
I found a
misremembering.
Can't
bar
tell
of
if you're kidding or not.
German chocolate from 1941 that had
Damn.
methamphetamine in it.
Well, yeah. I
That's
mean
probably
that's
it.
what Pervitin was. It's all meth, right? Right? Is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
meth? I
It
think
was at
so.
an
Yeah. It
antique
was.
shop. I
Yeah.
was so tempted to buy it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I'm making it mixed up. Shademaster for
No,
10.
it was the original sort of building blocks of methamphetamine. I remember there was a I think it was a documentary about because this is documented in a book. Um, God, I can't
Shade, do you
remember
want to come on? You're welcome to. You want to talk about the Daily
God, what is the
Wire?
name? What is the name? There was a name about all the drugs that the Nazis took. I fucking have it as well, I swear.
Yeah, well, the Nazis did all kinds of stuff too. They were also taking essentially meth. Yeah,
Someone in the chat tell us.
weren't they all
Someone
doing
in the
that?
chat will know the book about the Nazis.
I'm pretty sure everybody in World War II was doing meth to some degree or
Oh,
another.
Norman Orr, that's the one. Blitzed.
What is
Drugs
it?
of the Third Reich. Blitzed.
Oh, that's a good name for a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, about such a
Yeah,
subject.
and I think the person who was they did they did a video about it and it was documented. I think they were pulling information from that book, and I think the how the British discovered it is because I think a German soldier was shot down, and the tablets were found in his bag that he
Yeah.
dropped in, a, presumably parachuting out, and that's when they first looked at the sort of chemicals, the chemical breakdown of what the hell that stuff was, and
I
like,
mean,
oh yeah, this
it
is
would
meth.
let them go for days, with no
Oh
sleep.
yeah, they would stay for 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's when
like,
they started doing the
That
blitzkrieg. But
well, as a
the problem is
soldier,
after a while,
eh,
it made you insane.
well, I mean, not as a soldier, but if you're someone in charge of an army, right, and you find out that this drug can make it so that your soldiers can go without sleep for 3 days, obviously you're pumping them all full of it without thinking about the other effects
Consequences
afterwards.
thereof, yeah.
Yeah,
the more
Yeah.
you read about both world wars, the more they sound like giant science experiments with millions of soldiers as guinea
I
pigs.
mean, they've
Because
certainly resulted in a
w-
massive science experiment in terms of destroying Europe. Jesus.
good, no fucking shit. Ask Churchill, who he sold the soul of the British Empire to.
People they really venerate
I
Churchill and they
love
really
AI.
shouldn't.
Do you use AI?
That wasn't
No,
supposed
they
to come
should.
through.
They fucking shouldn't.
Sorry, that's
I
Well,
for
you
the
mean,
would
the
if
others.
you're
entire.
American. Basically, they transferred the entire empire's wealth was went to the Americans.
Yes.
Obviously, the Americans go,
Mhm.
yeah, of course we like him, yeah, because he made you your fortune, you fucking asshole. If you're English, you'd hate him. Rightfully so.
Wait,
I
Bill just
don't.
sent me
I
speaking of
used to
meth, Bill just
really.
sent me something.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like that sounded weird. No, it was related.
Yeah. What is Bill sending you?
He sent me
What
this
the fuck?
oxy shred warning for Aussies after tradies test positive for meth during workplace screenings. I mean, there might have been some workplace screaming as well if it was meth, right? So it was a drink? Oh my god, Oxy Shred Ultra
Oh, yes,
Energy.
I did hear about
And it
this.
had meth in it? Several FIFA workers have claimed they tested positive for drugs during workplace screenings after consuming popular post-drink energy drink. Push Gym Energy Drink. The claims relate to EHP Labs Oxy Shred, a caffeine-based drink marketed as thermogenic fat burner, designed to increase. I don't know why I can't read already. I'm off to a great. It's because I'm shook. All right. Designed to increase metabolic rate, boost energy, and aid fat loss. Some Australians claimed it caused them issues during routine tests at work, according to a social media page. There were reports. So how did meth end up in this? How?
Well,
But
who made
I
it?
just want to know how they're selling meth for $5 a can. What's going on?
It's a pretty good rate, isn't it?
I don't know
That
what
is
meth goes
that's a
for, to be fair.
fantastic rate.
I would assume that's a good rate for
I don't know.
meth.
Someone tell us what's the going rate of meth.
Do we have any meth heads in the chat
Well,
Don't
who
incriminate
know what a
yourself,
good
obviously.
going
okay,
rate for meth is?
as someone who lives in an area who has
Hmm.
had 3 houses burned down with meth labs in the past 3 months, I can tell you right now, according to the local drug people, it's like what, $25, $30 an ounce, maybe more.
Jesus. Oxy Shred is power thirst. Hey, it has what plants and humans crave, apparently. Meth. Um, jeez.
Getting fucked up on meth. Woo!
I guess. So, claims come just one young gentleman nurse said the energy drink caused her to test positive. But how did it end up in the drink? Daily Mail.
Mm.
False positives, lots of things.
Is it not
Okay,
part of
so
the
the
ingredient?
manufacturer is claiming that they're false positives and the people are just doing meth, I guess. I don't know. How did meth end up in this stuff?
Or it just read as positive when
Crazy.
it shouldn't be.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. That's Nuts
They
though.
found out the
I'm
whiter
assuming.
nations were winning the World Cup, so they decided to sabotage them.
Oh yes, by the way, England tonight is against Argentina, right?
Yeah,
Let's go
Argentina is likely to win.
Argentina!
Uh,
Yeah, but
England will
their
never
leader's a
return the
massive
Falklands, not
Zionist.
ever deal with it. You're never getting them back, bro.
They are.
No, actually, I mean,
I kinda want
Starmer wants
Spain to
to.
win, it'll be funnier.
It'd be funny if Spain wins.
I want
Like,
Spain to win
I mean,
so badly.
really? I mean, I always, obviously, I'm
Yes,
rooting for the Anglos.
because Spanish women are hot.
I mean, so are the Argentinians.
That, oh, I mean,
That is
you
true,
gotta remember that the
but
Argentinians
the
are Nazi refugees, so.
Okay, so let's go Argentina.
Shade Master for 10
Closest
USD
Ah.
thing I
says,
have to Germans.
have you seen that there's like whole living like fake German towns that are like, or not fake, but they're stylized after little German towns in Argentina? Wonder who moved
Yeah, I wonder
there.
why that is.
Anyway, Shade Master for $10 says, I wish it was the Russians who killed Graham, and you should read the Godfather book. Unironically educational and based, Italians are the buffer race between the whites and the nons. Like I've had plenty of Italian friends who are very very cool people. I love Italian food, so I'm
I'm
not.
surprised I haven't beaten you for having not watched any of their
Well,
movies.
you gotta bully me. I for whatever reason I've never been able to get into like the
I
Italian
I I
mob
just I
culture
just
shit. It
heard you
doesn't.
have to
I
bully me.
I don't. I
I
find
will
it weird,
happily join in that bullying.
and I I'm not a man, and I think that's a big part of it. Is that that mob culture stuff is very machismo and masculine. Well, machismo, perfect word for it, right? It's Italian, right? I think so. Or machismo.
We we
It doesn't.
we think you just watch it because the acting is good.
Well, that I could get into it for.
You watch
For
it
a
for the
good
story.
story. For a good story. I just don't like gangsters. Daredevil's my favorite
You have
superhero.
Marlon Brando.
I don't like gangsters. I like the heroes. I occasionally,
I was
you know.
gonna say you wouldn't enjoy my mother. She watches nothing but like murder shows about how people get brutally slaughtered,
Oh no,
which
I like
No,
a.
Aiden would watch that.
No, I don't watch as much true crime as you might think, given my
yeah.
deformity. You know what I mean? My defect. But being a woman,
My mother
however,
did my mother did have excellent comedic timing because I was sitting down watching a true crime show about wives murdering their husbands. And right as they were describing
okay.
how a white like this woman was cutting up her husband and shit, my mother goes, anyways, I took a life insurance policy out on your dad. And I'm like, excuse me, the fuck? Why are you mentioning this now?
By the way,
She has
Shade,
a wicked sense of
I just
humor.
read your super chat there. I did mean that. If you want to come on, Shade, you're more than welcome. We're down a person tonight. We're down Bill. So if you would like to come on, you're more than welcome to as well. Um, let's see, because you said you had some things to say regarding Lindsey Graham. Tired Retro Gamer for 5 says a lot of people on the right are emotionally sparking out over Candace or Erica rather than focusing on the weird stuff in the Kirk case. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Kirk case, and of course the stuff that gets promulgated and put, you know, forward for everyone to look at, get distracted, get distracted, get distracted, is the weird schizo shit that Candace Owens promulgates, because of course it is. It's distraction on purpose. That's what all this shit is about. By the way, I'm speaking of Charlie Kirk, I'm going to talk about a distraction later in this, which is that they've had an artist make a bronze statue of Charlie and they're about to put it up in Manhattan. The whole point of all of that, in my opinion, it's a distraction because you know the leftists are going to destroy it within like 24 hours. They're going to fucking smelt it down to the
Nah, I
ground.
don't think they will.
And they'll deface it, they'll graffiti it, and then that's
They would do
red
that with
meat
anything,
to the
though.
MAGA base so they can go, yes, the leftoids are still the real issue. If there's no problems in our own party, in our own camp that we need to clean up, it's those crazy fucking leftoids who are so easy to fucking dupe that you can just literally put fucking vegan tofu on the end of a stick and they will go eat it with zero
The fact that
self-reflection.
the fact that the public is so easily duped by the most obvious of distractions is just
Yeah.
more and more evidence that democracy is doomed to fail. What was it? Was it Aristotle? No, not Aristotle.
Aristotle
Fuck.
had some
Why?
base things to say about democracy occasionally.
Yeah, he did.
Allegedly,
No, I'm pretty
little
sure it was
secondhand sources.
Aristotle who saw this happening in Athens. thousands of years ago, and we're just repeating the same. It's the
Well, it was
definition of
Aristotle who
insanity.
predicted the cycle. He's the one who first
Yes.
defined it and identified it, who said, you
What
know,
you mean was killed for it, and that's Socrates.
yeah, yes, Aristotle though identified the cyclical nature of politics, which is that democracy will collapse as all systems do, and when it collapses, it collapses into despotism, tribalism, and then eventually comes back out into a stable system of monarchy, right? And then monarchy will go into more of an oligarchical system, which
Republic.
then goes into the republic, which goes into the democracy. The democracy turns into oligarchy, which turns into despotism. There we go. Got the right order that time. Took me a minute. And then it's a cycle. It goes around and around and around. And democracy, the vox populi, is a very, and it always will be, and always has been, a very
Flimsy.
appealing sort of government, to think that we all have an equal say, but we all also know that we don't. And that's just not how the world works. Everything is hierarchical. No two human beings are the same. We all have different abilities, different skills, different, some people are more beautiful or uglier, or stronger or weaker, all these things. This is the nature of man. Everything is hierarchical. So government, when it works best, should be hierarchical as well. And the plebs voting don't make logical hierarchical decisions. And the reality is that you actually have no, at this point, you don't do anything to affect democracy because it is an oligarchy.
No, no, we
On top
don't.
of it, everything gets decided for you anyway. Unfortunately, or fortunately. What were you saying, Spoon? Though?
No, I agree with that.
Let's go back to the Tyler Robinson stuff. So, devastating evidence, including DNA on a rifle and a text conversation, shows 23-year-old could be tried for murdering Charlie Kirk last year. Prosecutors told a court this week. Oh, sorry, guys. I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Yes, Carnal,
Yeah,
I'll invite you
I've
here.
just been
Hang on.
watching the.
I'm going to invite Carnal to the group. You can come hang out. Because I really actually appreciated well, in general, I appreciate him coming on, but, that bricks and minifig stuff. Hello, Carnal Conservative. How's it going?
It's going good.
Hey, I figured I should just wait and finish my sentence there before until you got here, which is that I really did appreciate your little bit of uh, walking back and skepticism about the bricks and minifig stuff, because that guy's released his third video and there's some issues that I have with it regarding the Lego scandal. So I was really glad that you were there for that week and you jumped in, because your temperance was necessary, I believe, in that moment, to not be like, looks like maybe there's something sketch going on. I do think there's something sketch going on, but that Reckless Ben guy has also made a lot of errors. What I couldn't believe is that he represented himself in court. What are you doing?
Oh shit! The bricks and minifigs or the
No,
reckless
the
Ben?
YouTuber who was doing the
Oh
document
goddamn!
represented himself in court.
That's never intelligent.
No,
But no,
never. Always get a lawyer. If you have to go into debt to do it and you're in that kind of situation, get a lawyer, because it will be worse if you don't. Always.
yeah, I'm actually learning that the hard way myself. But in any tangentially related to that, no, I'll comment on that right now.
Oh, let me share with my
Yeah,
screen with you guys. That's what I originally was gonna do, but here we go.
I was
yeah,
about to
we
say
have.
when.
Oh.
Yeah, we have always consistently, from what I've seen online from the Latter-day Saint sphere is, we've had people protesting on behalf of the family in Oregon or Washington, whichever state it was. We are not happy about the bad press about this if
Oh, I'm
all of
sure.
these accusations were true. Like, in fact, I sent you a stream where we talk about, and we were
Mhm.
on um this guy's side. We're like, this is great YouTube. This is what
It
YouTube's
is
for.
great
Like,
YouTube.
more of it, please.
It's great YouTube. I don't
Goddamn, like,
know if he's done the right things. And when I watched his
no,
videos, I had some thoughts of like, this doesn't seem like the right way to go about this. Now, if these people really did
but
steal this guy's Legos, then fuck them, but don't be stupid about it. Anyway, sorry, I've
but
been on the
as you
side
were
here.
telling me, we do police our own. As you were telling me, this guy was kicked off his city council for the bad press.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like we don't handle this well. Like we don't act that
Yeah.
way. We are not in any way responsible.
I don't think it's
Going
going well
back
for
a
anybody
little
involved
bit,
at this point. I don't think anybody
going
involved
back a little
is
bit,
doing great.
I do need to address the fact that you have not seen The Godfather. It's not
Okay,
your fault,
that's
Aiden. You're poor. You're poor Floyd. This is Bill's fault. Sorry, Bill.
look,
You
okay.
should have educated her at this point. I'm just giving you shit.
Let
I'm
me
just giving you
oh
shit.
no, cursed by ovaries. I don't again, I don't like gangster movies. If I want to watch something that includes violence, like I would watch a gangster movie if it was set in like a medieval setting or a
It's not
fantasy
a gangster
setting.
movie then.
I know,
Wait,
but if it was all the same, no, if it were all the same trappings of a gangster film, but put in it like a
Okay,
fantasy setting, I would totally watch that.
Aiden. That is why you watch the gangster movie, because it is the fantasy setting in a modern world. That's why you watch it. That is the appeal. Unironically, I bullshit you not. That is
well, hey,
the appeal
Aiden,
of the mobster movie.
Amy in Connecticut didn't Action Justice Warrior set up a Give Send Go or GoFundMe for Ben to get a lawyer. He did, and they still represented themselves in court. Now I don't know because there's a time lag here. I don't know if when Sean set up that Give Send Go GoFundMe, whatever it was after he had already, it was too far into the process to get a lawyer. But it's very bizarre that after everything, this has been going on for over a year on that side, that he's not bothered to get an attorney. You know, uh, never, particularly when you're making a bunch of money off of this. Your videos went insanely viral. They were the talk of the whole internet for like 2 weeks. You can't afford a lawyer, bro. Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
Dapper Wolf. I'm sure you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind. Yes, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure might be the closest. I think, like particularly, different parts of it that kind of veer into like gangster. You know, like Giovanni
I
obviously is a bit gangster
but
inherent. He wants to
I
be a
wouldn't know.
on
gangstar.
yeah. On another note, it's not a gangster film, but have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front?
Mm-hmm. I have seen All
Oh,
Quiet on
I
the
love
Western
that
Front, but I
movie.
haven't seen it since I was a kid. So I don't know.
Hmm.
My
I
memories of
was
it probably
talking
aren't that acute, or they probably are
I
acute.
was talking about the 2022 remake
Oh no, absolutely not. Was
because
that good?
I've seen
Hmm.
all three. It was really good.
Oh,
I like it better than the 1979 one, and and better than the 1933 one, but I still love
actually, I don't.
the 1933 one.
I think I probably saw the 1933 one because I was gonna say 70s didn't sound correct. Pretty sure whatever one I saw was in black and white. So, um,
Oh, then probably the 1933 one.
yeah. Well, my dad and my godfather, who I call my uncle, and he's basically my uncle. My uncle in particular, he doesn't like to watch any film that's in color. Like he thinks cinema died the second that Technicolor basically was invented. So when I was growing up, we watched a lot
Well,
of movies in
Weird.
black and white.
I I honestly think cinema died when women were allowed to direct, but hey,
Well,
I guess
women
we
have
have
always
different
been
fucking
God.
allowed to be in it. You have to go back pretty far
No,
because before women.
direct, produce the fucking
Oh,
films,
direct.
Aiden, not be in it.
Sorry, absolutely yes, that is a problem. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Fucking hell, Aiden.
Anywho, let's talk about the Tyler Robinson case. We've been mucking around for a while. Preliminary hearings gave prosecutors a chance to outline probable cause to try Tyler Robinson, 23, on charges including aggravated murder, a death penalty offense in Utah. There's a relation to the bricks and minifig stuff. They painted a vivid picture of his movements in the
Hmm.
48 hours surrounding the murder of Kirk, using CCTV, witness testimony, a taped interview with Robinson's roommate, who, by the way, from what I saw, it seems like his roommate is pretending to be a man, or is being a man again, or pretending to be a man pretending to be a woman to be a man, at least as this deposition was
He's a
concerned.
fag.
Well, yes, obviously he is. Also, please, we are on air on YouTube, so I would not give a shit if you said that in any capacity on Rumble and Kick, which you're also live streaming to, but YouTube might get mad at us. I don't give a fuck about that word, obviously,
Well,
but
I mean,
nothing happened.
yeah,
Anyway,
okay, fair.
nothing
Nothing
happened.
happened.
The defense for
We're
Robinson.
fine. Everything's fine.
The defense of Robinson, who's not yet entered a plea, sought to sow doubt on all of it. Kirk and a key Trump ally, founder of conservative blah 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 blah. We know this. For the past 5 days, lawyers for Robinson, a trainee electrician, raised repeated objections to evidence and testimony on arguments including hearsay and the tainting of potential jurors. That meaning that, anyone, there's no way he can get a fair trial because everyone already knows his name and they already think that he did it.
So what?
That's, well, it's easy to say, so what, unless you really do get framed for a crime and everyone thinks you did it. In that case, look at someone like Derek Chauvin, right? Derek Chauvin could not get an impartial jury because everyone believed that he killed George Floyd,
I don't. Yes, that's why we still charge this one. He should
Yeah.
get at least a Chauvin treatment, at least.
And get the Chauvin treatment. Well, but
do it anyway.
yeah, I have a hard. I understand from like a moral reason why you wouldn't want to do that, but unfortunately, this is politics. It is the fact that our enemies will do that stuff against us, and they don't give a single flying fuck or have any compunctions against it. So why not?
They
That's how
already
things are going to be. This is how
have been.
democracy works.
This is
Yes.
not justice. This is tribalism. Let's fucking go.
Playing fair is weakness, and you shouldn't play fair because your enemies will not play fair with you. Particularly not when you live in a deracinated, increasingly less and less white society. There is no reason to play fair with people who will not play fair with you. Minnesota Fatser5 says, don't feel bad about not seeing The Godfather, boss. Trying on the server hasn't seen... hang on, sorry, escaped me. Sorry, I'm reading them on another thing, so it scrolled away. Tira on the server hasn't seen a slew of essential movies. She didn't have cable growing up. I did, but I think the
Freaking cable to see The Godfather? That's a shitty excuse.
No, my parents wouldn't have let me watch. My parents didn't let me watch violent movies growing up. I was allowed to watch the most raunchy comedies imaginable. Mom, if you're watching, you know I was. Like raunchy comedy films were fine, but if it was violent, my mother in particular did not want me to watch violence. So
Thank
it was the
God I
90s.
was raised by Marines.
and you're male, and although I don't know, my mother didn't want me to see violence and. Well, boys like violent stuff more than girls do. That's just truth. Boys
to
like
be
war
fair,
and
it was
action.
a woman. To be fair, it was a woman, female Marine, who first sat me down and showed me
Oh.
movies like We Are Soldiers, Saving Private Ryan, and Jarhead.
Oh, I'm not surprised by that. But if it was a girl in the same position as you, right? She might not have liked it so much. War, battle, valor, glory, these are things that speak even to boys, that they don't speak to girls in the same way. It's not that women can't necessarily understand it.
Massacring everyone who disagrees with us in the name of our banner.
Yes. Women and girls, as an extension, really don't have that innate understanding of valor and glory. Yes, and why violence is part of it. We just don't, because it's not part of our...
Glory to the God Emperor.
It's not part of our evolutionary strategy to need to understand that. So even though I certainly like, I like movies like that, although, oh my god, what's going to happen with the Odyssey? That's going to be a mess, it sounds like.
I don't want to know.
It's going to be great. It's going to be
I refuse to find
fire.
out.
As do I. I don't, yeah. I like watching Hollywood crash and burn, so.
I'm only going to watch it on a pirated website just to laugh at it.
Well, I mean, it's certainly be
I wouldn't
very
even
funny
do
to see
that.
Lupita Mbongo or whatever pretend to be Helen of Troy, the most beautiful woman whose face was so lovely it launched 1,000 ships. Lupita Mbongo.
Wait, is that actually who they casted her as? Like, I don't know anything.
She's Helen of Troy.
Yes.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
She's actually not.
Guarantee you that bitch wasn't even the most attractive woman on the set.
No.
Oh my god.
Not even close, baby.
She's not even that ugly, but they made her look so fucking ugly in the film.
I mean,
and I don't know
Ellen,
why.
Unironically, I think Ellen Page was prettier than whatever that is.
And also, it is funny, Ellen Page, even when you put her in a lineup next to the other women in the film, and I'm sorry, next to the women in the film, Ellen Page, of course, being a man.
She looks tiny.
She's the tiniest one out of all the other women in the film. She's 5'1".
That's because, yeah, of course.
And they have her playing some invented Greek soldier. Ridiculous.
Have you seen the videos of her giving autographs to the fans next to her bodyguard, and she looks like a child in an
I think we played
suit?
it. We played it last week, where it just I don't know.
She is
rushing, like she's like daintily tiptoeing over to go get it, and then she's standing next to her bodyguard, she comes up to his chest.
Yeah, she's a midget.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no, she's not a midget. She's a woman. 5'1" is an
Okay,
acceptable height for a woman.
Same thing.
okay. You want to know something funny? Is that in today's political climate, Elliot Page could do a sequel to Juno and it would still work.
Well, now it would be stunning and brave. A
It would
man
be
can get
funny.
pregnant. Paige is 3 foot
What the
0,
fuck is
7
Juno?
pounds. Juno was Ellen Page's breakout role, where she and Michael Cera, right? That's his name, Michael Cera.
Yeah, Michael Cera.
Where they like hooked up in high school and she got pregnant, and the whole story is, I never saw it, but I know the basic plot. And the whole plot is about a teenage pregnancy. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thought that was
There's
more
something
of
else.
a.
I've not
God,
seen
never
it, so
mind.
I could be selling it short. The premise of the film did not intrigue me, so I didn't see it. Anyway, let's get back into this for a little bit, shall we? Just to
Okie dokie.
well, because look, I'm just having fun hanging out and talking, but also let's gotta try to keep a little bit on point because I want to talk about Lindsey Graham. We've been here for nearly an hour.
Quick, somebody think of another distraction.
No. So let's see. Uh, they questioned the credibility of experts, DNA, and
Yeah, if you want to
ballistics
weigh in with a
reports.
distraction, go ahead.
With prolonged cross-examination about testing, interpretation, and protocol, but Chief Deputy Utah County Attorney General Chad Grunander told the judge, Your Honor's has heard 4 days of testimony now. The evidence is overwhelming. It's devastating. Now Robinson's fate lies in the hands of Utah County Judge
Hello,
Tony
hello,
Graff, who will determine the case if the case proceeds to trial. So we're not even at trial yet. It's this pre-trial stuff, yeah. But look, I mean, apparently they found his DNA. Or actually, I don't think they found his DNA. They found his girlfriend's DNA on the gun. By the way, I'll just reiterate, we're not far enough in this case for me to give any definitive fucking statements on this yet. I can only say what I already know, or think. These are just my thoughts. A lot of things about this stunk. The fact that there were all of these conversations that happened right beforehand with his girlfriend where he describes, how much he hates Charlie Kirk and what he's going to do, and those things were all just laid out for, investigators to find. The fact that this was able to happen at all, the fact that the situation existed in the way that it did, the fact that he was able to get these guns, the fact that he was able to get away by hiding it in the woods, yeah, that he was turned in
by his own father.
by his own father.
His own father helped him turn himself in.
Yes, turn himself in.
This is the definition of open and shut. We know who did it.
Oh,
please.
But whether the question is, yes, he did it. That part I think is unquestionable. The part that I don't know is, was he a patsy? And I'm of a mind to think that he was. The way that he got the guns and things like that, this is a guy who didn't really have a job. He was working like part-time or something. And yet he was able to afford, now I know it was the family gun, but he was able to afford the ammunition and some other stuff. There was less weirdness about this than in some other cases. But I think this guy was a patsy. He was at least set up, provoked into doing it by operatives within the United States government because, and I say that because that's how it keeps working, right? Charlie Kirk, very shortly before his assassination, within the preceding months, and this is what Candace says, true. It's also what Candace says. And she was Charlie Kirk's friend and did talk to him about it, and I've seen their DMs. Not just, besides the things that Charlie said publicly, is that he had started to become very critical of Israel. He started to become publicly critical of Israel. And then he was killed.
I'm gonna jump in on that because this is also kind of ties into what we were talking about, the Daily Wire.
Mm-hmm.
The campus he was at, the Utah College TPUSA chapter, was founded by a Latter-day Saint influencer now. I forget her name. But she actually goes into detail about her relationship with Candace and her relationship with TPUSA. Candace is a narcissistic.
Oh, absolutely.
She is a witch on wheels. This woman is nothing but a public facing, just absolute. She's a hypocrite. She's one of those people that Christ tells you about. Watch out for. Don't listen to them. Candace Owens cannot be trusted for shit.
No, and Candace Owens, like I said, she was a leftist trying to spy on and catalog all of your naughty thoughts on Twitter until she wasn't. So I have never, look, and I'm not saying that people can't change in that sense. It has happened. But the number of times it has truly happened where somebody has some kind of revelation and doesn't just switch sides, because sides don't really exist, by the way. Sidesism, we need to abandon this idea of sidesism, but becomes a completely different person in their ideological values, because that's what it really means. People mistake sidesism for ideological core values. They're not the same thing. Sides and ideological values are in no way the same thing. But for her to switch overnight like that,
Yeah.
I'm always going to be distrustful, particularly when she continues to be a sensationalist. You know? I think she's a
The
good
faster
entertainer,
the
like I
heel
said.
turn, the more suspicious.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, no,
mean, to be
we have the
to be
inside track on
frank,
this.
yeah, to be frank, St. Paul was a pretty fast heel turn, but even his took what was it, a week or two before he finally fully converted?
Yeah.
Because he had to travel all the way to this. Yeah, but just I have always been highly mistrustful of anybody who just suddenly and violently does a complete 180.
Yeah.
It took me,
Well, they never do.
let's see, I've been watching, yeah, I've been watching Spoon for, God, ever since he made his first video about just some guy, and it still took me a good 6 or 7 months to finally acknowledge that he's right about
Hey, Dolo,
America,
yes.
just right about the United States and monarchy and all that. And it's
Don't
took me
want to
another
be.
year.
People
Yeah.
will change their trappings. It's very difficult to change who you are. And that's because our moral foundations, for example, Jonathan Haidt's theory, indicate that these are lifelong personality related variables. The way that we feel about morality, about purity, about loyalty, about authority. So if you are a left wing loony, and then all of a sudden you see the light and become a right winger, you're still going to be the same authoritarian that you were before. Do you know what I mean? In the same way, but you'll just have a different kind of, coat of paint over it. People don't change easily. It takes, you know, a near death experience, essentially, something really insane to actually make somebody change. That doesn't happen to these people. Getting canceled or whatever happened to Candace, was not the impetus to cause her to suddenly become right wing. In terms of, I saw someone say they died as he lived regarding Charlie Kirk being on screen. Yeah, he did. Charlie Kirk did also die as he lived, trying to have conversations with people, trying to bridge that gap that he, in my
The
opinion,
lesson to learn from that is don't.
mistakenly believed could be bridged, but they can't. Even if you could convince someone, as I just said, they wouldn't be convinced for the reasons that you're convinced. They would see
You know,
the thing that already appeals to them.
I'm going to add an exceptional case that would be a genuine change, and I'm gonna Elon Musk as an example. Yeah, he still does some weird shit, but when you watch your allies like Peter Thiel, don't
Oof.
necessarily have a good I don't necessarily have a good impression of him either. But when you watch your allies like him get betrayed, when you have your own child transitioned, when you have all these factors compounding, his experience with taking over Twitter, turning it into X, uh, a gradual transition after hit like that will
It can
definitely
happen,
change a person.
but it can only
It
truly happen if the person's underlying morality does align that way. If their underlying morality
Yeah,
doesn't actually lean that way, because being a leftist, being on the left, whatever, being a liberal is the default setting in Western society.
he's Elon Musk is trying to be what Google used to be when they had their "do no evil" in their mission statement,
What a
and they took that
crazy
out.
thing. Yeah, of course they took that out. Yeah.
Right? They had to take it out, and if you listen to Elon Musk, that is still kind of sort of his guiding principle.
Yeah.
Even if his methods around it are kind of ass backwards.
You know,
Definitely not
I,
religiously sound, but
no, but
you can see it.
I can see that he has his heart probably in the right place. Uh, that reminds me very much though is when you go to get, I've told the story many times. When you go to get a PhD, they ask you to write a prospectus, and the prospectus is, why should you get a PhD? Why should we allow you into the hallowed halls of academia? And you're supposed to explain yourself. Some people will write, dissertation level stuff, like at least a couple paragraphs. Now, my advisor said shorter and sweeter is better because if you have to explain, if it's that complicated why you deserve a PhD, you probably don't. If you have to like overly explain it. So mine was, and again, I remember walking to hand it in, and some of my other classmates had, multi-page long things, and mine was one, it was just a sentence, which is to contribute positively to the wealth of human knowledge. That in and of itself is the benefit. Now, there are people who do, and I think Elon Musk is kind of that same level of autism, where just he wants to be correct, autistically. He wants to, be truthful. Doesn't just because you want to do that
I
doesn't mean you
covet
always are.
prestige and accolades. I want to dominate. I want to rule the tower and burn everyone who fucking disagrees with me.
Well,
I just want to
You must
revive
use
the
my
German
brain.
Empire.
Ah, yes, the Kaiser.
Well, I got
Godspeed.
into doc school off of contribute positively to the
We
wealth of
have
human
some
knowledge.
Germans in the chat, so they'll probably be the ones who favor that, actually.
Mm.
Well,
Uh,
I'm part German myself, and Italian, and Scandi, and Celtic. Mostly
You know,
German
there
and Italian.
as all Americans,
there
we are
is a
not
there is a
mudded.
modern prophet who refers to the German people as an exalted people.
Who's that?
There's good
Fuck
reason
That
yeah!
was Joseph. That was Joseph Smith.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
There you go.
not
Very
really.
based, very based. Joseph Smith, W. Rat
He has many
Bartholomew.
I mean,
moments.
the one time I agree with him, but otherwise.
Rat Bartholomew Cheesington for 2 says, the only black woman I trust is Big Bungie. I also trust her. She's extremely based. She makes me laugh all the fucking time. She's so funny.
I'm not familiar. Do I need to go subscribe? Do I
No,
need
let me
need
just,
to
you know
follow
what,
this woman now?
I'll, hang on, let me just go over here to this folder, and, if Windows doesn't freeze on me, if I type in Big Bungie, I'll
That
be
is
able
the
to find
first
it.
time I have heard the words trust and black woman in the same sentence on this channel.
No, you'll find out in a second. Once I can get this document or this file. There it is. Okay. I'm going to, if you're watching the stream, I'm about to just play this, so drop it.
Ivan K with another $5. Me and Bill Murray showing up in full Ghostbusters gear to trap Jacob Rothschild ghost in a cum jar.
Did you fuck up again?
Thank you, Ivan K. And finally, reality rap.
God
I probably
damn
did.
it,
I probably did. I probably did. I probably did. I don't know if you could even hear it because I didn't realize I should have done that a little
That's
bit
the only
differently.
black woman?
Yeah, it's the
What
black
about
woman.
Jay Longbone?
I like Jay Long. I like Jay Longbone. She's very cool as well. Sorry.
Yeah, Jay Long's
That
fine.
probably didn't work out very well. I'm sorry for ear raping everybody. I didn't realize it was going to play at like a quadrillion decibels. Also, I didn't realize it would do that and just pop it there. I love Big Bungie. I just happened to be listening to him do a stream one time, and he said that where he did that his Trump impression is fantastic. I brought up his Trump stuff before. Make it louder. Sorry for ear raping. Sorry again. All right. Let's move on from this.
I couldn't fucking hear anything, but I don't.
I'm sorry, but she looks hilarious in that photo.
She does. Anywho, let's move on. I've got a jeez. ACB. So we talked about this the other week, which is that wait, that's not the correct link. That's the same thing.
What the fuck is that?
What? That is
That
Tyler
creature
Robinson's
on the
roommate.
left.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like that's the tranny? That's his girlfriend who dressed like a man for them.
Can we say that word now?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why does that look like Weird Al
We're an hour in.
Yankovic on drugs?
Well, they probably are on drugs. They're true.
In 1990s, whatever, maybe.
Anyway, so women taking more L's. You may remember we talked about, I believe last week, is the fact that the birthright citizenship was shot down by the Supreme Court entirely by women. Women know your limits. Now, Amy Coney Barrett is going to explain that she was coerced into this verdict. In which case, Amy, you should resign from SCOTUS. You are not hard enough, you are not masculine enough to be on the Supreme Court of the United States.
Enough. She doesn't have an appendage to get hard.
Yes, you are not. And I'm going to play, in comparison, this clip from Justice Clarence Thomas below. Because if this is true, and she's saying, what she appears to be saying, which is that her decision was influenced by fear, then your decision
Are you serious?
was wrong. Yes. Let's listen.
Thought I would just share a little bit about how the threats have affected me and my family personally. They have required me to, or my children, to think about and see things that children should not have to see or think about. One example is when threats to my life were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security.
Look, I'm not saying this isn't awful, but you are in the highest court in the land. You are also very protected as a result of that. And as I will play again below, Justice Thomas's response, to similarly receiving death threats.
If you can't handle death threats while
Step
having
down.
miles of security around you,
Then step down.
then it's just, yeah.
And
You're
unfortunately,
in politics. Death threats are a part of the job.
I mean, this is her admitting, tacitly or not, that her decision to not overturn birthright citizenship was based on emotions and feelings because she's a woman. Thanks, Trump, by the way.
Security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond because maybe I lack imagination, but I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my
How? How? In the name
You
of
are
God.
in fucking
Honestly.
politics.
You are the highest court in the United States. You make decisions that will change the course of all of American legislature and legality. Of course, your life will be threatened. How did you not think that would... It's astonishing. There's no way she didn't consider... Maybe she did. She's a woman. I don't know. Did you really not consider that your life would be under threat when you took that position? That if you didn't want the heat, then you should have stayed out of the fire. And this is her, like I said, admitting that she was influenced. In which case, I don't think that the birthright citizenship case has been tried properly. And it needs to be retried. Because clearly, a justice was threatened. Maybe that's why she's doing this, but I really think she should step down. Honestly. Not like Trump will appoint anyone better, but still.
children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had to wear one. It's also been reported in the news that roughly 6 weeks ago, I was the victim of a swatting incident. At that point, my teenage son, one of my teenage sons, opened the door to go out with friends and saw in our street, it was full of police cars, who had responded to a false report of gunshots and raised voices in my home.
By the way, this has happened to me. So, I am not saying it's okay. Swatting is retarded and it's evil. But this happens to YouTubers. Do you know what I mean? Like, this happens to anybody with any degree of a public-facing job. It doesn't make it okay.
Hang on.
Doesn't make it right.
I actually have something to say about this because
Yeah, sure.
when the police get a fucking report about so-called or supposed violence at a residence, these motherfuckers should know of a yeah, they should know, hey, this is a SCOTUS justice. How about we give a phone call first? How about we do some fucking diligence? Because this is, like, the fact that the law enforcement participated in the SWAT is complicity.
Well, they always do.
Like,
and I will defend law enforcement on this issue, and I'll tell you why. Because if they call, it could, and there's a home intruder, and the phone is ringing off the hook. The home intruder picks up the phone. They might, or if they do or not, it doesn't matter. The phone starts ringing off the hook. That person starts to get agitated. They start to get scared because they've realized the phone's ringing off the hook. Now they also, if it's to your cell phone, you might you're obviously going to turn your cell phone off so that you can't hear it. I mean, that's the case as well. And she can't pick it up because she can't talk if you're in the middle of a home invasion. So there's many reasons. And additionally, on top of that, it's always the safer bet, kind of. I do get it. I know that SWAT teams are have committed horrible crimes, that they have been used to try to get people killed, to get pets killed. This has obviously happened. But the reason why SWAT teams respond the way that they do is because it's always a very real possibility that the home could be being invaded. People could be tied up. They couldn't get to the phone, or they could be made to be coerced against their will. To say, I'm fine, while they're tied up with a gun to their head. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are all real possibilities that could happen during a home invasion situation. And that the SWAT teams
I'm with Chad on
specifically need
this
to
one.
be aware of.
I'm sorry, but there had got to be, because this is a Supreme Court justice. Of
Well, what
course
you
they
described,
have
yes.
security.
What you described
Of
is
course
very
they have
unlikely in her
security.
situation, because they would have already been very aware that this is, by the way, like, back when I lived in the States, all I had to do was call my local PD and say, after the first time it happened, and said, hey, I'm an online personality. There are people who will want to abuse the police department to try and hurt me, to try and, get me killed. I told them that. Now, this is Morgantown, West Virginia. It's a very small town, all things considered. And so it's very Andy Griffith, Barney Fife. So they, of course, went, all right, from now on, we will call you. That's not the case. I understand, in bigger cities. But if I can do that
Supreme
as a YouTuber,
Court justice.
obviously a SCOTUS justice already has that cataloged of, let's make sure before we send in the SWAT team. Let's at least try. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I just think she's not mentally prepared to be in this position. Psychologically prepared to be in this position. And no one really can be until they are. But the way you react to that is not to then sacrifice the dignity of your job and what you're supposed to do out of fear. That only indicates that you are not
Correct.
capable of doing it properly.
My second point here is, if she's going to complain about this,
Yeah.
fine, fair enough. But please tell me, for the love of God, we have at least tried to go after the perpetrators. I want to hear some consequences for this. I don't want to hear you were a victim and they just got to slink back into the shadows. But please tell me that's not what happened here.
Well, she wasn't actually attacked by anybody. And it is difficult sometimes to track down, not sometimes, very often to track down swatters, right? And that's, there needs to be more attention paid to that. Yes, but actually being able to track down who is swatting.
It doesn't help that you can legally in the
Indeed,
United
Amy,
States
indeed.
just leave an anonymous tip.
Well, the problem with anonymous tips, yeah, is that anyone can do one, and anyone can make some shit up. Tim Pool, he it's been a couple years now, but maybe 3-4 years ago, he was swatted constantly, and it was all people making anonymous tips saying he was. One time it happened like the week before I was supposed to be on his show, and it was someone had called in and just said there's been a shooting at the Timcast compound, and they all had to evacuate and stuff. Even one time I was there, I remember there were calls about there being a swatting, I think. Or at least they were on high alert. Maybe it was the same week. I've been on a few times, so I can't recall. But even someone like Tim, who is high profile, who has contacted the local PD and who know that he gets swatted, it didn't matter. They just well, this is protocol. So, that's why they have to show up. I think they can be a little bit more discerning, but the police are going to do whatever they're going to do. I understand her fear there, and that is a real fear. You would think that as a SCOTUS justice, though, she would be already under surveillance, already under all kinds of supervision, particularly when there is a contentious case that is going on. So this all reads very odd to me. That
the fact that she immediately brought up her children,
well, yes,
just
it's an
screams
emotional
that she's
appeal.
trying to gain bullshit. So yeah. Anytime someone immediately just brings up their kids and
well, I mean,
okay,
if you think there's a home
well,
invader, you might. But the reality is that, again, she's got all this protection as it is. And it's not just you. It is your family as well. If you sign up to this job, if you sign up for this, you must accept the possible ramifications of that job. And if you're not willing to do so, then you should resign. And that's harsh, but it's true.
I was
Indeed.
very, very grateful that I had Supreme Court police outside my home because
Oh, this froze. Weird. Hang on. Oh, did Brave die? It did. That's my mistake for using Brave. Not that Brave is a bad browser. It's just that sometimes it's like video playback and stuff get broken. Particularly on Twitter.
friends and saw in our street, it was full of police cars who had responded to a false report of gunshots and raised voices in my home. I was very, very grateful that I had Supreme Court police outside my home because they were able to stop and meet with and explain to the county police that it had been a false alarm, and so the police did not actually attempt to enter our home. Many of us
So she wasn't even like, I mean, again, because she had these protections, he didn't like break down her door. The police just talked to each other. But she was clearly still spooked. At least that's her excuse as to why she voted not to overturn birthright citizenship. I think it's an excuse, personally.
included.
And whether or not it is an excuse or she was afraid, either reason are pretty
I
bad
didn't know
luck.
it's related
Yeah,
to
either
it.
reason.
That's what this is about. This is her talking about. She was talking about
but
swatting
how-
threats specifically in reaction to why she was in the mindset
does
that
she
she
know
was
that?
in. This is what she said about why she was in the mindset she was in when she was making the decisions on the birthright citizenship case.
This is surreal.
Have received threatening anonymous deliveries designed to intimidate and harass us. They are often
And it
sent
was.
in the name of Judge Salas's
Yeah.
son, who I think, as you mentioned in the beginning, Mr. Chairman, is deceased because he was killed by a disgruntled lawyer who showed up at Judge Salas's home intending to kill her, but her son, 20 years old at the time, opened the door and took the bullet instead. Her husband, standing behind, was seriously injured. So I think the message on these deliveries being sent in his name is clear.
Well,
As
yeah,
Justice
it's to
Kagan
intimidate.
said, federal judges across the country, throughout the judiciary, including the Supreme Court, continue to do their jobs without fear or favor, but the threat level is really high.
I think you've just admitted that you are not able to do your job without the threat of fear. And I'm not saying that it's easy,
Which means
but you should resign if
Get
you
out.
can't. I will show you again the duality. This is Justice Thomas describing the same thing happening to him. And listen to what he says. Again, you know, as the far right ethno-nationalist, whatever that I am, replace the U.S. Supreme Court with just 11 copies of Justice Clarence Thomas.
I'd rather die than withdraw. If they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me.
So you'd still like to serve on the Supreme Court?
I'd rather die than withdraw from the process. Not for the purpose of serving on the Supreme Court, but for the purpose of not being driven out of this process. I would not be scared. I don't like bullies. I've never run from bullies. I never cry uncle, and I'm not going to cry uncle today, whether I want to be on the Supreme Court or not.
That's the attitude you have to have.
You know
I'm
what?
not afraid to
real
die.
Real racism makes real brothers. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, base Clarence Thomas, indeed. Like, that is the correct answer. That's the correct response to that. Yes, I've been I've gotten death threats. I'm sure that there are many people who want to kill me, but I am willing to lay down my life for it. And I got so much stuff tonight. Fuck, I gotta hurry up. All right, let's get into it. The White House tweeted this slop, this Civnat fucking slop. I genuinely fucking hate this. The White House tweets this. So, yes, good. Brown woman holding up a U.S. flag. Bad. Boot on U.S. flag. Okay. Good. White guy MAGA hat. Not good. White woman with sombrero. Good. Women winning at sports. Bad. White men winning at, or white, I guess it's black women, brown women being better at
I
something.
don't even know what the one on the right is supposed
What?
to even mean.
It's a white guy being better than a white woman. Men are not better than women is
Why
what
is
this
that bad?
means. Apparently it's a bad thing.
What?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought that was a men and women sports thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah,
But I can't
it's a
see
man
why.
on a
I
split
think it's
podium.
Civnat slop. I think it's Civnat slop.
Why would a man be on a pedestal next to a woman?
Is it supposed to be? Is it a
Yeah.
Yeah.
tranny thing? Because I thought it was just Civnat. Men are
Yeah,
not better than
that's kind of
women.
his
By
point.
the way, that's how
I
everybody
think it's a
received
tranny
it
thing.
too. To be fair, like everyone perceived it the way that I did. So the base, but
It's really
there we
great
go.
propaganda when you spend more time trying to decipher it than, you know.
You still got a little Civnat slop in there, though. I don't know about that one.
Oh fuck! That just reminded me. So in my local area, there's a bunch of teenagers who keep burning rainbow flags that people are hanging on their front
Damn.
porch.
Based.
I think this is. By the way, I think that this is
Hold on.
all the White House really wants to distract. They want to move back into ethnocentrism or anti-ethno-nationalism, more to Civnat bullshit, and I think they really, really are desperate, and I know that they are, to distract from Trump's massive failures regarding Iran, particularly as Trump has reignited the war with Iran. So we get the White House
By
tweeting
attacking
out
them, yeah.
some more fucking
Jeez.
UFO footage, and literally no one cares. Even the
No.
normies know this is a distraction. No one gives a shit
Yeah.
about your UFO footage. Who
Nope.
cares?
Bad distractions.
It is a bad distraction. You know what else is a bad distraction? As I did mention earlier, it's this oh sorry, I did one more thing on this UFO stuff because they brought in renowned ufologists to talk about this.
You
Dr.
know, I should
Phil.
say something that my dad, who is a massive Trumpy,
What?
is abandoning.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
What?
So he's gonna say,
What?
"You're hearing this from me first. I was granted early access to newly released UAP documents, and one pattern jumps off the page. These objects have been showing up over our nuclear facilities for 77 years. He goes. Why is Dr. Phil dropping this?
Boomer Schizo.
No, he said he's been given access, and there's no community post on it
Yeah, Boomer Schizo.
Of all people, why Dr. fucking Phil?
because boomers trust him.
I thought he was the. Yeah, I guess.
It was Boomer Schizo.
Boomers are going to look
yeah,
at this
that's
instead of
fair.
looking at all the other stuff that's going on. They'll get distracted by it and go, "Look, Dr. Phil, he got access to the UAP documents. He's got some patterns that jump off the page. Green
He's
fireball
supposed to be
sightings."
some psychiatrist. You know what? I'm just gonna stop trying to figure out the mentality of fucking boomers.
I mean, they trust, it's easy. They trust Dr. Phil, and they're easily distracted. You gotta understand it. People don't want to believe that the choices that they've made could have negative consequences because it speaks negatively on them, whatever their intention was. And that's the whole massive problem with democracy. It creates cognitive dissonance. When things don't go as you intended or anticipated regarding, for example, Iran, well, you need to be distracted to get your mind off the things of that cognitive dissonance, that psychological pain. So, Dr. Phil comes out, and the White House comes out and talks about fucking UFOs, and the boomers go, "Thank you for the distraction from my psychological pain." You know?
I think part of it is that the boomers are also the Nepo baby generation because they inherited everything
Well,
from
yeah,
the silent and Lotus
but no one likes
generation.
cognitive dissonance.
That is fair.
We're all averse to it. And you guess this all coincides with the Iran war starting back up. I think this, by the way, I think this is exactly because I think the whole reason they've made this sculpture, the reason they're going to put it in Times Square, right? Times Square, certainly Manhattan. Yeah, Times Square is because, and also this, I do not like this statue. I think it looks gaudy as fuck. But the whole reason that they're putting it there and all the comments are like, "Oh no, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be destroyed. Here's Techdown. Vandalized within 24 hours. Won't make it overnight without being vandalized. How long until someone vandalizes it? It will be vandalized." Do you see this as every comment? Well, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to be vandalized because of course it will be, because leftists are very easy to dupe, just as are the right, as they're demonstrating here. And then it will get people in the midst of this Charlie Kirk trial to think about Charlie Kirk. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about the fact that actually Charlie had really soured on a lot of the neocon bullshit. That he had soured on Israel, as Israel is about to try and failing, but trying to merge its military with the United States. You're
Ew, no,
unaware
please,
of that.
for the love of God, no.
They barely didn't get away with it.
Chuck
I mean,
Schumer was responsible for actually throwing it out, which is bizarre.
The Democrats, Yeah, the Democrats, of course, were actually the ones who were averse to it. The Republicans went all in. Tie our
Of course
military
they did.
entirely with Israel.
Cocksuckers.
How can
God,
we claim to be a
please
sovereign
no.
nation if we share a military, not just intelligence, but we basically share a military because that's what was on the table with Israel. I mean, I know that's how it already is, but you're just being overt about it at this point. They're just rubbing it in your face. Anyway, so here's the Charlie Kirk monument that's going to get destroyed or vandalized or whatever within probably 12 hours. I was going to play the music. I think I don't like that the color scheme of it either. I mean, it does look like him, but the body looks
I
fucked. I'm just saying.
fucking loathe modern statues.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately believe that democracy and collectivism as a whole is incapable of producing good art.
Well, yeah. So it'll be defaced immediately. I'm guessing that's why it's maybe not the highest quality. I want to make a statement about the Patriot Front because I've seen a lot of these posts the last couple days of like, whoa, Patriot Front based? Actually, they're still feds. They've always been feds. They're still feds. Don't fall for this
I
shit.
don't actually think they're
You
feds.
don't think they're feds, Spoon?
No, I don't.
You don't think when they have these highly produced videos that they're feds? No offense to
No.
Andrew Bronca, by the way. I really like Andrew Bronca, but I think you're both just wrong on this. Maybe it's just a difference of opinion. I think they're feds. Shall we watch their video though? They've put out some. I would say this. They've put out some banger videos. So we'll watch them. I don't know about the music.
And fought upon this hallowed ground were volunteers motivated by a sense of duty and a fervent
Anglo-Saxon governance restored. Let's go, base. See, I understand why these get people hyped. Sorry. Knock my mic. I'm gonna get in trouble over this music. Oop. I think the rest is just, there's no more talking, so it's just, footage.
They're too normal to be feds.
You think so?
No,
I don't
Yeah,
like
I
how
think-
they're
yeah.
too coordinated. That's where what gives me extreme anxiety about them.
They are far too cookie cutter
Yeah.
to not be feds. Like they have the same exact physique, the same kind of build. They have the same fucking uniform.
Yeah.
Like I was no. Like the true grassroots movement was the Proud Boys, and we never looked even with the Fred Perry. We
Yeah.
never looked that goddamn uniform. Not ever once.
Yeah.
Like this is
You have any
AstroTurf
evidence
to the
aside from
fucking
suspicions?
nines.
I
did quite find it funny that they actually help people in the hurricanes. And
Look,
it
why
pissed
do they have
people
all
off.
this high quality footage of themselves training and all this stuff? This is promotional
Look.
material. This is made to be an advertisement to try and get people like Andrew Bronca. Again, no offense to Andrew Bronca, but they're trying to get people like him to say, I don't think they're gay anymore. I don't think they're feds anymore. You know?
Okay, what I will say to answer Spoon's question is I will simply appeal to what we found with the SPLC findings. I highly suspect we
POP
have
and fed are the
some
same thing.
coordination
I think
between the
we're using them
SPLC
interchangeably.
and Patriot Front.
Mm.
I'm fairly certain there is a connection between their funding with the SPLC.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I'm gonna say.
I'll just they put out a couple of these videos recently, and again, I always pay attention to timing, right? The Patriot Front has been out here dropping a bunch of bangers, right? All while faith in Trump is collapsing, and I don't know if that's a response to it organically, or if it is a fed op or a gay op, whatever. I don't really know which one it is, but the timing
But it has
is
nothing to do with it at all.
the timing is very suspicious. It could, yeah, have nothing to do with it at all, but the timing is suspicious to me.
I'm leaning more towards just accidental timing because this.
Very
Yeah.
few things in
I
politics
don't
that
know,
are this
'cause-
well produced are accidental.
Well, I mean, fair, but this as what's your fucking name? Carnal. Fuck. Yeah, as Carnal said, it's a little too cookie cutter.
I'm just suspect. I'm
It-
just
it-
suspect of all this kind of
Y-
stuff.
I mean, you should be suspect, but it's like it's a little too uniform. Feds tend to try and look
You think it looks too
non-uniform.
fetty to not be feds? That is possible. Midnight in Exile for
Yeah,
5 says, if they weren't feds, every last one would have been doxxed by now, and multiple violent false flags pretending to be them. Bronca is kosher. I tend to agree with you, Midnight in Exile. Yes, all of these guys, we would know every single one of their names. They'd all be doxxed. They'd all be, publicly revealed for who they are as being neo-Nazi, racist, white supremacist, etc., etc. They're not.
Okay,
And
hold on.
that's another major reason why
I'm
I'm
also
suspect on it.
here's what I'm also gonna say. When we criticize the left and their presence with protests, these mass-produced things, and all the matching signs and all the matching
Yes,
uniforms
that
and
is
masks and all
paid
this
for
shit,
by NGOs.
it's the same thing here.
Yep.
It's the exact same thing. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start to get matching flags with that logo nonsense. Like,
Matching
that's
flags,
not how this
they've got
works.
uniforms, but let's hear them out for a second. We won't watch a lot of this, but watch a little bit. This video I've been here's this guy saying, I don't think these guys are feds anymore. Holy shit. So let's watch the video that is convincing people, 20,000 likes on this, that they are not feds.
While many are content to celebrate independence
I've
on
seen
this
it.
day, we know what these vapid displays conceal. Our people are not independent. Our destiny is shackled to 100 competing nations imported to this soil, bringing with them countless incompatible interests. Our homeland has been turned into a squalid arena of profiteers and invaders, overseen by a spineless cast of traitorous politicians.
I hear no mention of specific races. I hear no mention of specific groups. I hear no mention of the Jews. That gives me reason to believe also Fed ops. I'm just saying, like, this is not the kind of speech that you would hear from people who allegedly believe these things, right? They would be more specific, typically.
Let him cook.
Yeah.
But let's let him cook,
Yeah.
We wish for sovereignty and liberty which cannot coexist with the conditions that have been forced upon us. A quarter millennia has now passed since America's violent birth, and nothing I can say will glorify independence more than the blood of our forebears that stains this continent, consecrating it forever with the immortal legacy of the men who died for so noble an objective.
You see what I mean by there's no specifics?
So we stand on the turning of an age and the making or breaking of our nation's destiny, and we must ask ourselves, under the watchful gaze of history, what is to be done? So dire is our circumstance, so extreme is our condition of peril, that the only way to secure our existence is to become all that we aspire to be.
Now,
there was the one drop.
There was the one drop to secure our existence. That's 14 words. It's
I will
part
say,
of
give
it.
him one thing there. There is no politician in 50 years in America that can do a speech like that.
Oh no,
Not
that's
one.
true. That is true. But that is exactly what you want for containment.
He has
right?
statesman material.
That's exactly what you want in containment, though.
No, if he was containment, he'd run for office.
No. This is how you contain the extremist elements, right? You funnel them off to be like, oh, these guys are base. They're totally not feds. I was so wrong. Funnel them off into supporting Patriot Front.
I don't think
that's how containment works.
There is one thing that is making me a bit lean a little more. I'm still more towards Spoon, but one thing that is making me a little more suspicious is that there's a whole lot of mentioning that there is an enemy, but not
who it is.
A lot of saying
what it
who
is.
yeah. There's no saying who it is or what it is.
That's what.
That's
what made me feel a little bit off about it. There was no mention of who or what it is, no mention of any specific groups. It's very broad, and so it can be whatever you want it to be. Because if you're trying to appeal, if you're trying to act to be properly containment, if you're trying to properly contain people's energy, then you want it to be broad, so that everyone can think you're speaking exactly and directly to them about their pet issue. Yeah, for some people it will be the Jews. For some people it will be blacks. For some people it will be Arabs and Muslims on the right. You know what I mean? If any one of those groups, you just avoid saying them, then you contain all of them.
I have
into a place in which their energy can be wasted.
And anybody in the fucking White House.
Well, I'm no fan of Muslims.
Muslims are Jews playthings.
Right. But you have to be aware of the fact that things like counter-jihad are used exactly as containment. Counter-jihad is a containment strategy. To take your energy and funnel it into this Islam shit forever without recognizing the underlying reasons why
Who's
any of it is
pushing them there?
happening. Yes. Why are Muslims being brought into Western countries at full force? Is it because of Islam? Or are they just also
No.
tools
No.
within the globalist system? Obviously, they're tools. Those
They're
people
they're
don't
being
recognize
stripped
why they're
there
being
en
used.
masse from a certain group of people who
Yes.
wear tiny hats and rub their hands together.
So, again, that's where my criticisms and my reservations about this lay, which is that the non-specificity makes me think it's contained.
A defeated people was cast into this pit of a century, yet a nation exalted above all the rest will climb out of it. This is our task. Our national independence was seized by a natural aristocracy of our people, by the best of our Anglo-Saxon blood.
Again, he's saying some right words about the in-group, not saying the correct words about the out-groups. That's my concern.
Waging war against tyranny to restore their ancient rights.
I hope I'm
not
wrong,
solely for
by the way.
themselves, but to bequeath it to their people and their posterity beyond that. Now, regime after regime, tainted with corruption, has wrestled this sovereignty away piece by piece and placed it in the hands of the few and the foreign. Our liberty as Americans is squandered upon the unassimilable masses. They know not how to use it, and we are done trying to teach them. Well, the state has spent priceless years and countless fortunes attempting to educate and civilize our ethnic replacements. True Americans have been not merely left behind.
I thought these people were like wanted by the feds at all times, and they're, you know, under super investigation. They're out here in front of a government building holding these flags and recording this, that too, you know what I mean?
But subjected to endless abuse, unbefitting the heirs of this continent. The men of our nation, their hearts and minds and virtues are the safest place within which to secure the ultimate power of government, yet neither do our people hold this power, nor are they yet capable of wielding it justly. If we want our country back, we cannot merely speak of policy, we cannot just propose change. We must first impose it upon ourselves.
It's so broad.
Our policy.
Oh my
so broad.
God,
I'm not
no,
gonna keep letting
no.
this go. What?
Oh my God, that is, we must impose it on ourselves.
Well, yes.
The fuck does that even mean?
That's what I'm saying. This is so vague and so
That-
broad.
that
I
mean-
don't know
this-
what the fuck it is. It's meant so that
It-
any
it
person
loses-
can listen to this
Revolutionary.
and insert what they want to believe or what they think into it. That's why it reads like some Fed boy shit to me. And I'm part of everything, on top of everything we already know about Patriot Front being fads, or how they appear to be fads. I think it's just way too broad. It's way too, you know, choose your own adventure kind of shit. I don't like it.
At least with Proud Boys, the mission was
The
clear.
Proud Boys were honest.
The enemy was Antifa.
Yeah.
And the goal is to kick their asses.
Yes.
Or to
Proud
trigger
Boys
them as much
was
as
Gavin
possible.
McInnes's little meme squad.
Let's just count the jihad with the leftists.
It is, but
Yeah.
that was Gavin McInnes's little meme squad. That I had no problem with the Proud Boys because it was obviously what they were. Now maybe they got taken over by the feds later, which there seems to be some evidence of. But
Right,
I am
so
going
it's
to use
just
the
a
restroom
meme.
Yeah.
real quickly, and I'm also out of anything to drink. So I will be right back. I'll scroll down here for a second. We'll talk now. We'll move on to Lindsey Graham's sudden illness and death. He has died at age 71. So make
Oh
sure
my
that I have this
goodness,
up for
what a
you.
tragedy. How will we ever cope?
How will we cope? Well, you guys can talk
Good
about this as
fucking
well.
riddance.
And then
Oh,
I'll just
no.
leave this
I
up
will
here.
cope by drinking
that.
repeatedly and totally not singing Celebrate Good Times Come On.
I'll be right back, okay? All right.
Someone
I
play
know we're not
Erica while
supposed to
she's
cheer
gone.
people's death. Well, there's always this stupid crap of like, oh, we don't cheer when our enemies die because that's something the leftists would do. No, shut the hell up. If evil people die, I don't give a shit. Screw them.
Yeah, that was another thing. Is
Ding dong. Ding
Lindsey
dong.
Graham
feels
was
good,
an
man.
evil son of a bitch. He is in hell wondering where Hitler is. I did see that meme.
Have you seen those fucking memes of Lindsey Graham in hell going, "Hey, where the fuck is Hitler?" And then it's just Stalin
Yeah, that's
saying,
what I'm
"Boy, have we
referencing.
got news for you."
Yeah.
Oh, they're fucking amazing.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you knew anything about Hitler, his arch nemesis was the communists. I mean, he literally says his rivals is the commies. It's not the
Yeah.
Juden.
Yeah.
That's just what. Yeah, like if he openly tells you, "Hey, look, these people are my enemy," they just happen to be, many of a certain
I'm
kind of variety. That
I
you know,
mean his entire I mean yeah, his entire fuck. Why did the word just slip my goddamn mind?
arch nemesis.
Manifesto.
Yeah. His entire like every time
Memorandum.
I go to fucking say it, I my mind his entire his entire mantra, his campaign for running for office and being Chancellor of Germany was restoring German pride, restoring German identity, and preventing the communists from taking over and destroying everything that they have left from
Well, they
the
did. They
aftermath
just
that was
they
yeah
just took
that that,
over
that
Russia, and they were eyeing Germany next. Like, there's a massive socialist freaking wing movement in Germany by the time he is chasing political power. So that would be the reason why. And no one seems to actually want to focus on that. It's all just focus on, oh, look, he did bad thing to certain people. Or like, yeah, well, someone was eyeing his nation, so that's kind of why.
and there
You
were
can dislike
certain
it, but it's
people
still
who
real.
were there were certain people who were aiding the enemy that he didn't like very much.
Yeah, he did
It's not to
storm into
say
Austria
everything.
and took over the central bank, which is like honestly kind of based.
Well, that doesn't
Funny when you
that
tell people,
obviously
"Hey, look,
doesn't
what do you
justify
call someone who
every.
takes over the Rothschild Bank?" They go like, really based? Like, guess who took over that bank in the 1930s in
Hmm.
Germany?"
I am legitimately
Hello.
convinced that the only reason why France and England went to war with Germany after the invasion of Poland was because the invasion of Poland came after he completely took over the Rothschild central banks in multiple nations.
Oh yeah.
Because if they truly wanted to stop the German war machine, they would have declared war on Germany the moment they took back the Rhineland from France.
Indeed.
Well, let's not
Possibly.
let's not forget that you are not allowed to ask which books they were burning.
I want to ask. Can I ask?
Sure.
Do you not know?
Do you not? Oh,
Do you
actually,
not
oh
know?
no. They were burning, for example, some of the
No.
earliest works on homosexuality, which oftentimes
Oh,
involved
I knew
child
about
abuse.
that.
Oh no, not
I
just
knew about that.
homosexuality,
All kinds of
but
sexual
but
transgressions, yes.
they were first also the pioneering group in Germany after the what do you call it? What do you call that time in Germany?
Weimar?
In any case, the
Weimar.
Weimar
Yeah.
times, where they were pioneering transitioning, they were pioneering
Yes. Transgender surgeries
PDFs,
and
and
procedures. Pedophiles,
immediately after,
they intentionally placed pedophiles with children as experiments to see how it would work to help the pedophiles deal with their urges. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That also happened later
yeah,
as well in
yeah,
Germany.
that happened after the Mustache Man was rebuffed. So they just picked
Yeah.
right back up and continued to destroy the German people.
Yep.
Speaking of putting children in rooms with pedophiles
Lindsey
to test their
Graham.
urges,
Uh,
there is
Yes.
yeah, I was gonna say Gandhi because I've read a
oh
lot of
yeah.
stories of him sleeping with
Oh my
underage
God.
girls,
Allegedly, yes.
and it's like,
Oh, oh no, it's worse.
Oh no.
With Gandhi, it's worse. To prove he was holy, to
Yeah.
prove he was a good person, they had
I've
him
heard this.
sleep naked with a dozen other naked boys. And because he didn't do anything in that night, he was a holy man. If you want to understand
But then Michael Jackson
the
sure
bar
was.
of morality, if you want to understand the bar of morality in India,
Well,
that
it's
was how he
India.
proved his holiness.
It's India.
Was
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, uh,
he didn't do anything to the boys who were sleeping with him naked in the bed. That was the bar of holiness.
yeah. How far did we
I
get
did
in
not
this
sorry to
know
Lindsey
that.
interrupt,
Graham
but
article, if at all?
uh, Not very far. I am sorry to interrupt, but England just scored.
Hey, let's go England. Let's fucking go score some fucking goals, huh?
What is it? Is it live right now? Hold
Yeah,
on.
it's gotta be. Let me pull up the
It is
thing.
live right now. I am
Let
watching
me
the
pull up
score.
the score. So England,
It's 1-0.
look.
I hope they don't win.
Argentina or England?
England.
I hope England wins.
I want Argentina to win.
Am I the only one supporting England in this instance?
England is far too I didn't want the United States to fucking win because I don't want England to win either.
It's very simple.
I'm an American.
I'm the Southern Hemisphere.
I don't care.
Oh, you have Southern Hemisphere fucking.
I care.
I'm in the Southern Hemisphere. Yes, the
affiliations.
Southern Hemisphere must always dominate the North because these fuckers scream, "Hey, we have a better economy, we have better people and better sports personalities, so suck a dick."
Okay, well,
rugby's better than association football, Aiden. I'm sorry.
Well, I work for an organization at this point that is very, very Anglo-centric. I'm, in a month and a half.
It is based that you're an English nationalist.
I am
and an ethno-nationalist.
So
but
yeah,
that don't support the cuckery of England importing its athletes.
I bet everybody does.
Okay,
Every European country does that. So like,
now.
I'm not. That's the same thing no matter what. You're going to get a bunch of Browns on the team. That's just how it is.
This is
Where the country
important question. Despite the actual nation they represent, which team is actually whiter? I need to know. The Italian is asking.
It probably is the Argentines, which is insane. But
then I am with Spoon on this. Go Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina.
Remember, people always support the white ones.
Of course, the funny thing that's going to happen here, right, is that Keir Starmer has said that if England gets to the finals or wins, right, then he will step down the next day. But he's going to wait until after the end of the World Cup, and it has specifically framed it so that the day after England is in the finals, which if they lose tonight would be the end of it. So Keir Starmer could step down tonight, or he could step down 2 weeks from now. Well, whatever. I love the way he's put a contingency on it as to when he steps down. So what happens, by the way, if England wins? Does Keir Starmer not step down as PM? It's coming home, I guess.
You're just
the
making
1,000-year Starmer Reich is coming home. Let's go.
You're just making the case for Argentina. That's all you're doing.
Yes. Yeah, probably. What do you mean? I support the 1,000-year Starmer Reich.
Aiden,
no,
shut the fuck
no.
up. Aiden, please shut the fuck up.
Oh no, because
Aiden,
I'm gonna have
Aiden.
I'm gonna have to hammer that in Bill's absence. Inappropriate. No, bad Floyd.
Well, I'm
bad.
gonna put this here now.
Aiden. Fucking damn it, Aiden. Stop.
Disavow.
What's wrong? God. What's wrong?
Dishonor on you? Dishonor on your family?
What is wrong? Do you not like my 1,000-year Starmer Reich?
Dishonor on your cow.
No. My disappointment in you is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
I understand. This is the patrician-based position.
How dare you promote Starmer Reich while there's a goddamn rainbow in the post? No, disavow.
That's God's covenant with man, not the gay way.
If it was the covenant with man, it would not have the gay colors. It would have the God colors.
Speaking of gays, let's talk about Lindsey Graham. Sorry about the I've never put anything in here. It's like really loud. It's because to get everybody's voices to be right, that when I play stuff, it's really loud.
Base chat. Dishonor on your walker.
Oh man! Oh no, not my walker. Anyway, not on my stick. No. Okay. So Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. The statement said Lindsey Graham, of course, died from a sudden and brief illness. Whoops. Excuse me, that didn't happen. President Donald Trump led tribute Sunday to one of the greatest people and American
Okay,
senators
I
I've
have to
ever
hold
known.
on. When he says sudden and brief, does it mean he wasn't in a lot of pain?
I suppose brief
Aw,
and sudden
man.
illness. That's one of the reasons why people
Yeah, because
have
I'm just
conspiracy theories
confused by the
that he was
brief.
killed, that he died suddenly. Now, I would say this: he's had hypertension for years, for decades at this point. He's had blood pressure
Of course,
blood
dealing with
pressure
Netanyahu every
issues.
single frickin' day must
Right,
be quite a time sink
right.
and
Now,
hellish. Yeah.
if you've ever known anyone who's had hypertension or blood pressure issues, they can die very suddenly of a heart attack. It happens.
Really? Oh crap! I need to be careful then.
Bill's father passed away with like no indication a couple years ago. And by the time they
What do
couldn't
you
even
say?
get him to the
You need
hospital,
to be careful.
he was already passed. Like it can happen where people just they have a cardiac event and they die and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, I really hate to in any way relate Bill's father, who was a very nice man and very based from what I could tell, to fucking Lindsey Graham, only to say that cardiac events can be quick, unpredictable, and absolutely deadly. So, you know, I don't think that it is, in that sense, it is a nowhere outside of the realm of possibility, or in fact, reasonability, in fact, probability, that Lindsey Graham just had a heart attack and died as a man who had a history of hypertension and high blood pressure. He just had a heart attack and died, because that's what happens at the age of 71. Yes, happens.
Again, just
I mean, do you want to
overwhelmed
take up the
at
conspiratorial case? Because I'm all willing to hear it, but I think he just died.
Spoon, you were saying?
Apparently, I don't think he was in Ukraine. The reports say that he was back in the United States, but I don't know what to believe there. There's some reports saying he was still in Ukraine when he died and that he was hit by the Russians and they killed him. However, the people who are saying that are Laura Loomer. So,
that's
You
barely
mean
a
the
person.
same?
you know,
You mean the same crazy woman who's advising Trump on everything?
yeah, who's
That
apparently
Laura
Trump's
Loomer?
closest advisor at this point.
Oh god damn! Oh no!
Alphabet
Oh
Cat
no!
says, I suspect he was in Ukraine and died in a Russian missile strike, Aiden. If he were, I don't know why they wouldn't report on that. There's literally, what does anyone gain by not reporting on that truth? If it were.
I hope it was Russia. I'm just hoping.
I mean, I'm just trying to look at it like tactically, right? Let's say the Russians did kill him. What would be the benefit in covering it all up and saying he just had a heart attack? He got back to the United States, had a heart attack, and died.
Embarrassment that
Well, there
Trump
wouldn't
couldn't
be-
do shit about
The
it.
Trump admin is pro-Ukraine, anti-Russia on paper, right? So wouldn't that be an excellent argument to get back into a war with Russia? I mean, in fact, it's
Yeah,
being
that's what I'm
used. It's
saying.
being
point, yeah.
used, or get back into not a war, not a hot war, but a
No,
proxy war
I
with
do
Russia.
remember when he was talking with Zelensky and he said the Russians are dying. I wouldn't be surprised if Putin just looked over and like, I'm going to make you fucking regret saying that.
yeah,
I do.
no,
And it would
I
be
hope
really funny.
One of
I
my
hope it
favorite
was
things with
Russia.
the Russo-Ukraine war is that a lot of people, especially here in the United States, conveniently completely ignore the fact that the Russian line ends right where ethnic Russians in eastern Ukraine stop.
Well, I think a lot of Russians, well, it depends. They'll call them pigs and stuff like that. Ukrainians, particularly Eastern Ukrainians, speak Russian. They read Russian. Their news is in Russian. Their movies are in Russian. People in the it's been a while since I've talked about Ukraine. So what are their two regions? Oh, outside of, oh my God, come on, brain.
Was
Outside
Donbass?
fucked.
outside of the island that's to the south, there's two regions to the east. It's been 2
The
years since
Donbass and the Donetsk.
Donetsk and
I believe.
Luhansk, which both of which make up the Donbass, and then Crimea is the island, right? Got it.
Yes.
Sorry, just had to wake that part of the brain up again. Yeah. So in the Donetsk, in Luhansk and Donetsk, in the Donbass region, and in Crimea, people there speak Russian. They are more Russian culturally. And so the Russians think, and by the way, they have local support for it, although how much you can trust that kind of shit is very low because it's all corrupt as all hell. But allegedly, people in those regions want to be part of Russia because they believe that they're discriminated against by Ukrainians. Ukrainians have reasons to want to
They
discriminate
are.
in the Russians and vice versa, yes, because it's a very long
Yep.
history of hating each other. So I'm sure that that part is true.
Blood ties.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know, in that sense, but how do we get on that? Sorry, my brain had to take a whole detour to remember
Because
Donetsk
I'm
and Luhansk.
fantasizing.
Lindsey
Lindsey Graham.
Graham dying
fantasizing.
Russia.
Lindsey Graham, was he killed by Russia? I don't think so. I think he probably just had a heart attack. Would be my. I mean,
Did Putin say sorry
did he?
for offer condolences?
Oh,
Or did
Look,
Putin just go like, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
hang
One of
on.
your like most hated senators
but-
against my country just died. I'm terribly sorry."
you know
Fuck
who
him.
is going to his funeral though? Because of course.
Zelensky?
No, not maybe
Or
Zelensky is.
Netanyahu?
He sure is. BB's gonna
Of
take
course,
time
it's
out of his
Netanyahu's
day
freaking butt
to go
buddy.
to his top guy's funeral. So
He even said like a couple of hours later, "I miss you already, my friend." I'm like, do you know why?
disgusting, so
Someone said
gay.
that he was instructing Trump on how to appease Netanyahu, or how Netanyahu was to appease Trump.
Yes, remember reading
Like, how
that.
the hell are you working with a foreign power to how to appeal to yours? Like, what you?
Yeah. Let's
Oh,
see.
it's just you
Trump led
fucking
tributes
despicable human
on
being.
Sunday to one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, describing Graham as a true American patriot. Jesus Christ. He was a true
Here's the
Israeli
irony.
patriot, that's for sure. He later told NBC's Meet the Press that he spoke with Graham on Saturday night, hours before the senator died, and that other than being tired, he was fine. Again, you can't necessarily know with a cardiac event.
Well, he can rest for a while now.
Yep, hopefully for forever and ever and ever and
Well,
ever
if he
and
comes back, I'm going to be a
ever.
little bit concerned.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some magic going on, brought him back as a zombie, but anyway.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Mhm.
So after his death, there's a bipartisan bill to introduce Russia sanctions and tariffs
Yes, there are.
that Lindsey
And against
Graham
Iran.
had championed.
Yes.
So
On
okay.
which Trump has said specifically to honor his memory. Isn't that a curious little event? Coinky dink.
To honor your memory, I'm going to piss off and ruin my foreign policy even more
I'm
than it
gonna
already has.
make it.
Great.
I'm gonna make things worse.
Brilliant.
So
That's the dumbest thing ever. Why would you honor his memory by fucking up the country? That's retarded. Oh my god, Republicans are so cringe and gay.
they
Wait
sure
a minute.
are.
Hang
So-
on. The grand plan is to sanction Russia after
And
fucking
Iran.
up your Russia and Iran after screwing up the world's oil supply from that region of the world.
Well, if you screw
Yeah.
up the oil supply from Russia, because the rest of the world's buying their oil from Russia because they can't buy it from Iran. So
Uh-huh.
it's to fuck
So-
up the whole world's oil supply. And so I think
This is a
probably the people
godsend
who
to
love
Putin.
Trump think this is great. They'll be forced to buy oil from us. Except the United States doesn't make enough oil to supply the entire world.
No.
That's why we
We
import it
have
as
enough
well.
oil, we just don't produce it.
No, I'm saying we do not have the infrastructure right now to produce oil for the entire world. So the idea that this is all
That's what I'm
actually
saying.
4D chess so that the United States can become the global hegemon oil supplier is illogical, irrational, and makes no sense because the US cannot become the world hegemon in oil supply. We do not have the resources. We technically have access to a lot of them, but they're not being used properly. We certainly can't do that.
Even if this bill were to pass,
I'll
how
bring it
the
up here.
hell would you enforce it? How would you enforce it? You have given Russia a monopoly in Europe that they already have. You're just solidifying it. And you're trying to milk the Russians off of their own natural resources? Good luck.
Yep. Well, they did that when they blew up Nord
Good
Stream. The United States
luck.
government did that. Here's Trump talking about sanctions on Iran, Russia, and Hezbollah. How do you sanction Hezbollah? That means they sanction Iran, right? And Lebanon and
They're
probably
basically
some other
just like
places.
like they're a counter group. How do you?
Well,
They're
they're
not a
going to claim
state,
that
as far as I'm aware.
Lebanon is controlled by Hezbollah because Israel is currently in the midst of trying to invade Lebanon.
And bomb them.
Well, not just no. We're way past bombing now. If you don't keep up with this stuff, Israel is in the process of actively invading Lebanon, and for whatever reason, nobody
No, I knew
talks about
that.
it. No, apparently now, actually on Google Maps, all of the towns in southern Lebanon have, maybe Google Maps, I don't remember which one it was, but in some map service, they've erased all the names of the towns in southern Lebanon. And the Israelis, as of a month ago, by the way, announced that they were going to conquer a bunch of southern Lebanon, take it, and rename all those places. What a coincidence, right? Here's Trump on it,
How? The
though.
idea stuck.
I think by sheer force of just bombing the shit out of them is the plan. Bomb the shit out of them and use this kind of stuff as a distraction. Because right now, by the way, when these kind of things are going on, and by that I specifically mean, as the U.S. has begun attacking Iran again, all of a sudden Israel does what it always does. It calls for a ceasefire. Excuse me. It calls for a ceasefire with Lebanon, and then continues to attack Lebanon. They always do this. They say, see, oh no, don't attack. There's stuff going on in Iran. We need to pay attention to that stuff.
But the one with the
Continue to
small
attack
has
them.
the dishonest, my God, we've
No
never
way.
seen no
Never
trace
happened
of that
before.
ever at all.
So here's Trump on the about Lindsey Graham and sanctions.
Is Russia sanctions bill signed within the next week or two, and will you sign it?
Well, I know that Lindsey wanted it very badly. I think they may be adding Iran to it. They're going to add Iran, which is a very big thing. If they did that, they may add Hezbollah too. Just put them if you do business with Hezbollah. So we're looking at that, but they're seriously thinking, and this is in honor of Lindsey.
It says isn't in the captions, but he says this is in honor of Lindsey that we are putting sanctions on Russia and Iran.
This was his thing. He wanted this more than any other thing.
He wanted this more than any other thing. We know. He wanted to bomb Iran, wanted to bomb Russia. What?
And starve people.
What is the fucking thing in common there? Supporting Ukraine and being anti-Iran? What is the shared thread between those two things?
Both are favored by the Israelis.
The Greater Israel Project and the New Israel Project. That's it.
Oh yeah, I want Ukraine to be a.
Ukraine is
big
supposed
new
to be the
Israel. I
secondary
forgot about
secondary Israel or second Israel. It's Israel of Europe.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's where the Ashkenazis are from, predominantly. So they're. I mean, Volodymyr Zelensky is Jewish. You know.
I'm doubling down, Aiden. I'm doubling down on the conspiracy theory that Russia killed Lindsey Graham because they want this shit to pass. They want to show how fucking useless this legislation is going to be.
No, they were going to do this anyway. I mean, this is exactly what they wanted. I mean, if they happened to kill Lindsey Graham, they gave the Israelis exactly what they wanted: the use of Lindsey Graham as a martyr. I think he just died, and they want, let's capitalize on this while we got it. Our top goy died. Let's use this as an excuse to reopen the war with Iran and go hard against Russia. I think you got to. I think people have to get out of the notion of thinking that everything that happens is planned, because the people in charge of all these systems are retarded. People need to stop overestimating them, seriously, because they are retarded. They don't. Why it looks conspiratorial is because these are massive systems that are able to react very quickly and in a coordinated fashion. So it seems like they planned it, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just reacting. You know?
The other problem is that the masses they're talking to are even more retarded.
Southern Lebanon, but okay, they're still erasing town names from Lebanon. They're still attacking and saying they're going to conquer Southern Lebanon. That is exactly what I said. Yeah, Southern Lebanon. That is part of Lebanon, man. Life sentence. Anyway.
You know how he felt. And there's a good chance that it gets done. But they'd like to add Iran, and they'd like to add Hezbollah to it. That's what I'm hearing. So.
I think he's saying Hezbollah because he's talking about Lebanon. He wants to excuse the Israeli occupation and conquering of Lebanon. And I will bring up again, for those who think it's great and want Israel to conquer Lebanon because they're a bunch of Muslims, there's a huge Christian population in Lebanon as well.
Weren't there a bunch of videos released of IDF soldiers vandalizing Christian monuments and killing priests?
Yes. So
fucking.
I mean, you're not just don't get sucked into this counter jihad shit. Yes, the majority of Lebanese people are Muslim, but not all of them. A significant portion are Christians. Some of the oldest denominations of Christians on the planet in Lebanon. Some of the oldest Christian churches.
Anybody want to start another crusade?
I sure do, but.
Man, you want to talk about a crusade in the Holy Land?
King.
You want to talk about another crusade? There's one group in Israel, the Samaritans, actually. The old school Samaritans, they're down to like less than 400.
Yeah, I'll find it.
A population totally.
Mm-hmm.
And the state of Israel formally acknowledges them as literally children of the tribe of Ephraim, and they treat them lower than dirt still.
Yeah.
That's worthy of crusade alone. But, we have all this other shit going on. Sorry.
So it was Apple,
I learned that
by the way,
recently.
that removed them. Yeah.
I'll make the uniforms. I like designing uniforms.
So, okay. So I saw this, and there appears to be an
Boone, you can be
explanation for it.
king.
Okay? I saw this briefly. I didn't have it as part of the show. But there appears to be an explanation for it. I don't know if I believe them. Just as I don't know if I believe a bunch of all kinds of bullshit. So, Wired Middle East has contacted
Bill can
Apple
be
over
the
it. So this is what it
executor.
is that, literally had to go see for myself. Sure enough, Apple Maps has removed almost every town in Lebanon from the map while keeping every podunk town in Israel and Syria clearly marked. So, now the question is, did this happen overnight? Because they're saying it never existed. That's what Apple is saying, right? Is that they never had any towns in Lebanon listed. That's their excuse. But I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures. Yeah, here you go. Well, I mean, this looks like Google. This is okay. This maybe is the case that Apple Maps never listed them, but you can see the difference between Apple Maps and Google Maps, right? Apple Maps maybe has never listed them. Perhaps that is true. So these locations have never been featured. The newer, more detailed Apple Maps experience is not currently available in that region. Perhaps that's all it is. But villages weren't removed, never had them. It looks weird. It looks weird. I guess, maybe Apple Maps just never had them. Interesting that Google Maps does, though. I don't know.
So,
I actually don't know
are
what
they
this
going-
means.
So it's one of two things. If they never had them, were they fucking incompetent? Were they
Who
just?
the fuck
Why can
keeps
Google Maps?
leaving
Why does
and
Google Maps have them and
re-entering?
Apple Maps doesn't?
It's
I don't know.
Spoon. So Spoon's
Oh,
having
Spoon.
Discord issues.
Damn it, Spoon.
Yeah.
Totally Spoon. Anyway, we got the idea there with Trump's going to put sanctions on both countries. So we got it. Lindsey Graham has died. He died suddenly. We got it. Spurs false claims. This is from pbs.org. Oh, it's not going to zoom in.
Here we go.
Way. Right, let me turn the speed reader back on. Okay. Preliminary findings from a medical examiner do not indicate any kind of foul play. Because, again, this is the Republican MAGA narrative, is that this was clearly foul play. His death was the work of criminal actions. This is baseless. Graham was 71, died following a tear in his aorta. According to a preliminary medical examiner, finding shared by his office, an official cause of death will be... Look, I don't trust PBS either. I'm just saying this is the official statement, right? And when you know who is parroting and promulgating the ideas that this was foul play, you'll understand why I am skeptical of it, that he didn't just die of a heart attack. Even though he seemed fine the day before, when he was hanging out with Zelensky. I have the video here, actually, I'll just play it real quick. He met with Zelensky, this was literally a day before he died, this video, right? People are going, there's no way he could have died the next day, because look how totally fine he seems here. Well, that does happen. It really does. It happened to Bill's father,
Long time no see.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Happy to see you. How are you?
Good. Older.
A little
But no wiser. Good to see you.
And unfortunately, it can happen. So I don't think it's so... Anyone who thinks that this is outside of the realm of possibility, I think has no understanding of how cardiac events work, right? Absolutely can happen out of nowhere. Tear in the wall of his aorta, called an aortic dissection, relating to the hardening of Graham's arteries, because he had diabetes, or not diabetes, but, arterial blocks. The finding stated he officially said, his office officially said that he had suffered from a brief and sudden illness, as we read. Many social media posts blamed countries including Russia, Iran, Ukraine, and Israel for Graham's death. Certainly not Israel, he was their top guy. Graham inspected a drone facility in Ukraine yesterday. Russia blew up that facility today. So that also appears to be true, is that the facility he was touring the day before he died was bombed the next day. But it was the next day. I don't know. A bit strange of a coincidence, but it could be
I
because
remain hopeful.
it could be because he also was putting on social media that he was touring this particular drone facility, which, much like if you remember at the beginning of the Russian-Ukraine war, was a bunch of Ukrainian soldiers, for example, posting their locations and then getting drone striked. You know, that kept happening. They had to keep them off the internet because they kept posting their locations and getting drone striked by the Russians or struck by missiles by the Russians. Then tonight it is announced that got that. Another post on the platform states, in reference to Israel's National Intelligence Agency, most realistic, it was a Mossad job in order to push Trump to renew full-scale war with Iran, which he has done, by the way. It clearly means you are next. Lindsey Graham was the shadow of Trump, his black self, except Lindsey Graham was Israel's top goy. What do you guys think? I don't know. Would Israel have been motivated to kill their top guy in order to scare Trump? Because he's their second top guy. I don't know if I buy that.
I've already given my pet theory.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I really hope that it was Russia who just killed him because go ahead, do whatever you want to do. Try it. As far as Israel doing it, no, I'm not.
I find that unlikely. Convinced. A noted foreign policy war hawk and a foreign war hawk, Graham was one of the most influential figures in D.C., advised Trump on matters such as Iran and Russia. On Friday, Graham announced an agreement with the Trump administration to move forward on a package of Russian sanctions during a trip to Ukraine, which he did. He was talking about sanctioning Russia further while he was in Ukraine, pulling a bit of a Gonzalo Lira there. You know? Well, it was the opposite way around, where, Coach Red Pill was in Ukraine promoting and supporting the Russians. Not expecting anything bad would happen to him. Don't know. These are very corrupt areas, too. So everybody, you never know who's trustworthy in Eastern Europe, right? Strong ally of Israel, that's putting it mildly. Position towards war in Gaza, in particular, angered many in the Middle East, including U.S. allies who advocated a diplomatic solution. Let's see. Other posts on social media argued it would have been impossible for Graham to get home from Ukraine in time to die in Washington, questioned whether FBI activity at Graham's house indicated that there's more to the story that is being reported. Kash Patel wrote in an X post that the FBI is assisting local authorities and has made every necessary resource available. FBI said that it had nothing to add, however. Experts say it's not uncommon for misinformation to spread after major events. Yes, shock, grief, anger, relief, even schadenfreude, depending on where someone stands politically. Under these circumstances, a dramatic explanation about Graham's death, for instance, that a foreign adversary was involved, might simply feel more compelling and more emotionally satisfying than the reality of an aortic dissection. Which is what I believe. I think he probably just did die of a heart attack because he's had hypertension for decades. You know? It's a less fun, I'm putting fun in quotes, because it's less interesting, entertaining explanation. And you know me, I love a good conspiracy theory. But it doesn't make sense for him to have been killed in this way. I don't know. Maybe the Russians did it, but I don't think the Iranians did. Although, that certainly is part of the speculation. So here's the Russia did it side of things. Sorry, that was the same article. Got that. Here we go. This was it. My bad. Laura Loomer, here. Did Russia just poison Lindsey Graham? There seriously needs to be investigation. Russia just sent a delegation to Khamenei's funeral in Tehran, where the IRGC and funeral organizers was calling for myself, President. Of course you were being called for, Laura. President Trump and Senator Graham to be assassinated. Lindsey Graham was in Ukraine a day ago, calling for Russian sanctions bill that he claimed the White House supports. Now he's suddenly dead from a random illness, a heart attack. According to his staff, did Russia just murder a U.S. senator?
I hope so. I hope so.
Distraction.
I truly doubt it, because I mean, Aiden already said it. If Russia did do it, assuming they did, they just handed everything that Israel and the United States needs and wants to make them basically the new Hitler, the
With one
new
exception.
Nazi party.
If they really
We-
had killed him, then you would see if they really did kill him and they had any reason to believe that that was true, yeah, the U.S. would move against its anti-Israel enemy, Russia. There is one other reason they might have, which is more deeply entrenched and a little bit more complicated, which is that if Mitch McConnell is dead, as many people seem to think that he is, given he's not been seen in a month and his proof of life photo is a little bit weird, without Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, the Republicans are not going to do well in the midterms. Now, the Democrats are not going to be like more favorable towards Russia than Ukraine, right? So it wouldn't make sense for Russia to do that either. The Republicans are more pro-Russia, only tepidly, but are more pro-Russia than the Democrats, who are totally pro-Ukraine. So if it were Russia trying to get out these Zionists, it might make sense in the short term, thinking you get rid of these Zionists who are very pro-Ukraine, but then you get the Democrats in who are even more pro-Ukraine. So if Russia did it for that reason, very short-sighted, very stupid. Not
necessarily. Not necessarily, because remember during Biden's reign, what did he do with Russia? Really, he was a wet blanket.
Absolutely. Yeah, the primary reason why he was a wet blanket was because the Russian war was it was an excuse to do whatever the fuck he wanted budget-wise, and it wasn't even Biden who was in power.
Not a
it was
glowy.
everyone else.
Yeah. Not a glowy says y'all are ignoring the fact that the U.S. is losing wars in Ukraine and Iran. The U.S. is bankrupt and we are out of missiles. Yes, there's that too. The U.S. actually, however, we've just restarted the war with Iran. So going to war with Russia right now would be a really stupid idea, wouldn't it? Killing, if Russia kills Lindsey Graham, okay, never mind, this might work, right? If Russia decides right now is the time to knock out this guy, right? Because the United States cannot go to war with Russia right now because it's involved in Iran. That could be possible. But killing Lindsey Graham also gets the Republicans out of power and gets the Democrats in. So I'd need a good reason to believe. I mean, just that they won't do anything because Biden didn't do anything. But the Democrats are Democrat politicians are very, very pro-Ukraine, much as they still care about any of it. They've largely forgotten, because they're more involved with Israel at this point. And Israel versus Iran versus Lebanon versus Palestine.
This is Western thinking. We think that Russia cares about Democrat money laundering in Ukraine. Russia doesn't care. Russia's very brute force Machiavellian minded.
It's not just Democrat money laundering. The Republicans did that as well.
My point still stands, though. If they know for a fact that a Democrat in power is not going to aggress on them militarily, or that they're incapable of doing so, or they'd rather do anything else, why not?
Maybe. It's very possible. I don't know. Where are we at with England versus Argentina? Oh, Argentina has scored. It is 1-1 now.
Yes! Yes! Thank you.
Amen.
So, this was Iran's response to this kind of stuff, right? So the Iranian government's response. I retweeted this just with the rapper writing and it turning into fire,
what the hell?
And I had a lot of people very upset at me for doing that, but I did think this was the base response. The anti-Iranian U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham died after seeing he could not overthrow the Iranian nation. He was gay and unmarried, leaving behind no offspring to pollute the world. I think that's a bit fire. Sorry. Based? People get upset and oh, you like based brown people. That is based. That's based. That's a base thing to fucking say. He was gay and unmarried and had no children left to pollute the world. That is true.
Yes.
It's not untrue just because it comes from brown hands, Fuck.
Oh god, I was about to say something I can't say on stream, bro.
Well, I think he did it to himself, and I'm going to show you the mechanism by which I think if he didn't die of an aortic dissection, which, by the way, this could have been the cause of it. I may have identified the root cause. And root being the key word in terms of chakras, because I think he put this drone up his butt. Look how happy he is.
Oh.
And I have proof. I have proof Not just the image.
World's deadliest butt plug.
I have proof beyond just the image. Trump himself confirms. All right, Trump has confirmed that's how Lindsey Graham died. By the way, I don't think I've ever heard Trump cry before. Maybe a couple times, but
Based.
he's clearly either on the verge of tears or crying when discussing Lindsey Graham's death here.
I've heard a lot of your comments. You lost a big friend. I saw him in Ukraine on his way back, and we all saw the video. He didn't look so hot. I'm told by those who know him, maybe he looked a little off. He was tired. Look, the Russians have a habit of poisoning people they don't like. And Lindsey Graham once called for Putin to be, taken out. You have any suspicions or worries? Do you think we know the whole story about his death?
Well, I think we do. We've had great doctors, and they talked about, a certain part of his body literally blew up.
A certain part of his body literally blew up. Now, obviously, Trump is talking about his aorta. However, I prefer my interpretation, which is that he shoved a drone up his bum, and it blew up. So his butt blew up. That's what I prefer to think the interpretation of those comments mean.
And that's a condition I believe his father had also. His father.
That kind of, I needed to pause it there because I knew his father also had that problem where something blew up inside of his butthole. Unlikely to have that as a genetic condition, but you never know.
That died very, very young from heart complications, and that's what Lindsey had. And it's something that's, number one, is very tough to see. And even if you see it, it's hard to fix, very hard to fix.
That part is all true.
He had a problem with arteries. And I thought he was like a 70% blockage. I said, Lindsey, you're going to have to go and take care.
So Trump even knew this, that he had this 70% of, he was blocked up some part of his cardiovascular system. So clearly, even Trump knew this. And by the way, after Lindsey Graham campaigned against Trump in 2016, railed against him, when Trump became more, friendly to Israel, and he became increasingly friendly to Israel, Lindsey Graham became increasingly friendly to Trump. Which order of events these happened in is kind of difficult to say. But Lindsey Graham was Trump's probably most devoted golf partner. Lindsey Graham played golf with Donald Trump all the time, which is why I think that Trump is actually very sad about this, because he's lost his golf partner. And we know how Trump feels about golf.
Care of that, but this was not that problem. This was a different problem that wasn't really related.
Did Brave just crash again? Oh my God.
So
here we go.
He called me and I said, how you doing? He just got back from Ukraine. He was a worker. I tell you, he was always someplace, and he loved.
So Trump also says, which is, I asked the MAGA crowd, if Trump says he got back from Ukraine and called him, is Trump lying? I don't know. Trump says that Graham was back from Ukraine.
Though he really loved it. He was good. He was really a great politician, actually. But he just got back, and I said, "How you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm doing good, but I'm tired." And within a short period of time after that call, he was gone. Amazing, actually. But he was. I don't think just to answer the conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'd love to say yes, but I think he had some problems and.
Yeah. So there's Trump's words on it. Real quick. Sorry, I had to cough there for a moment. Manny Uchusai, for 10, says it was a prank that went wrong. Benjamin Netanyahu called Lindsey Graham to ask him if he would go on a dinner date with him in Tel Aviv. And Lindsey's little black heart couldn't take it. Oh, to ask him if he would. Oh, yeah, he was just overwhelmed. Overwhelmed that Bibi would ask him such a question. Bibi is not very happy right now because that merge with the U.S. government's not happened. But Mitch McConnell, on the other hand, is apparently alive. And here is the proof. As we'll see. Mitch McConnell's staffers offer peculiar proof of life after Lindsey Graham's death. Longtime Republican leader resurfaced from a hospital bed to mourn the South Carolina senator and insist he intends to compete in his final term. Now, Mitch McConnell has been missing for about a month from public life after a health issue, right? And so he posted about a day, I think it was the day after Lindsey Graham was announced dead, he posted proof, this picture, that he was alive. People immediately took umbrage with this picture, started making memes out of it, because, well, something about this newspaper doesn't look right, and particularly in the age of AI. It is a real picture, by the way. or at least I've seen a version of this newspaper that appears real. But people said, I can't read any of the words on this newspaper, even the headline. The baseball player looks kind of strange. I have seen the picture that it derives from. So, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily. The paper's text still does look fucked. And it was interesting that he posts this the day after Lindsey Graham dies. So, but this is the...
Also, F's in chat for Spoon. His Discord has died.
Oh no. What happened? I was wondering where Spoon was.
He,
Oh,
no
fuck.
connection with Discord, so
Oh,
he
shit.
has departed.
I didn't know that. Well, thank you for letting me know, because I wasn't looking at Discord. Fuck. Well, shit. Well,
He bids us fond farewell. In other news, Argentina is winning at the moment.
Yeah, 2-1. That being said, we won't go super late tonight because Spoon can't join us. Maybe Spoon and I will do a catch-up later this week. Maybe. Now, we want to do a catch-up on some things later this week, because tomorrow, while we're talking about this, tomorrow, Spoon, myself, Scrump, Harry Robinson, and Blamblast Britannica will be starting our first stream of Overcast, which will be... You know, I've talked to the lads about what we want to do with it. It's not going to be like this. It's not going to be, let's talk about a news story. I think it's going to be much more off the cuff, much more general discussion. It's going to be, you know, it's been described by Scrump, I think in particular, as and some of the rest of us have talked about it this way as well, which is the second coming of Unpopular Opinions, AA's old series. So just kind of be like somewhere between Unpopular Opinions and the Lotus Eaters Lads Hour, that kind of thing, you know? That will be the, I think the theming of it. I've shown you guys the intro to it and things like that, but, you know, that'll be tomorrow on Thursday. So actually, since that's our first stream of that, we won't go too late tonight. We'll get through the American politics then, and I might talk a little bit about Anne Widdecombe, but I'm so glad I invited you to come hang out, because Bill's not feeling well, and now Spoon can't apparently connect to Discord, so... Thank you guys so much for having my back.
You're welcome.
As I certainly, it'd be very difficult to do this alone. Also, my allergies are getting worse, and I'm trying to not sneeze constantly, which is frustrating. Anyway, or cough. Great. Lovely. Okay. The Advocate. Stay informed on important LGBTQ plus news. No, thank you. So.
Yeah.
The statement came, right, so people are sus about this image, right? And all of a sudden, no one's heard from Mitch McConnell in a month. He comes back and says his stuff. Laura Loomer, again, says, don't be shocked if this week the Senate GOP leadership says, we regret to inform you that Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell sadly took a turn for the worse over the weekend and quietly and peacefully passed away in his sleep Sunday evening. We're hereby flying all flags, etc., etc. So Laura Loomer thinks that Mitch McConnell was dead, or was about to die. But, you know, oh, geez. My allergies have taken over severely. Can you give me one moment, guys? I'll give you something, because I have to go try and find an allergy pill somewhere. Because it's... Sometimes when the sun sets, like, I don't know what happens. The allergies get really bad. But here's the thing. You have to worry, because don't... Look, an intern fact-checked this. Fact-check correct. WAPO fact-checks, it was Washington Post. I can't remember. I thought it was New York Post. That's where my source is. A Washington Post intern, which they don't mention, has fact-checked that Mitch McConnell's hospital photo is real with definitive findings. So,
really,
I'll leave this up here for a minute. Let me go try to find an allergy pill real quick. I will be right back. All right.
Washington Post, in
Oh,
fact.
Angry Biscuit, are you still there?
I am.
Okay, good. And Colonel Conservative, you're there as well?
I'm still here. We're gonna keep you alive.
All right, thank you guys so much. I'll be right back while I try to find an allergy pill to deal with this sudden, like, my eyes are swelling shut. 1 sec.
All right. The woman
Anyways,
is gone.
Cardinal, Halo.
Doing okay. It's another hot day here in Texas.
Oh, fuck, you're in Texas. I am so sorry. I am in Michigan.
Yeah, I just got back from... Yeah, mods are away, Fed Post. Yeah, I just got back from Washington. It was kind of nice there, but oof. The Texas heat here is not for the light of heart. We do need AC down here. It is necessary.
I used to live in North Carolina. I know about this heat down south.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Oh, I can say right now, I am desperate to get away from my job, though.
What are you doing right now? Broadly
I am
speaking,
a
of course, this is the internet.
I am a blackjack dealer. And
Nice.
Yeah, you say nice, and it is fun when you get people who are just there to drop $100 once a month or $200 to $300 just to come gamble, drink, have a good time. It's fun. But when you watch people with serious medical issues, like there's this like Chinese fellow, very very kind guy, but his knees hyperextend to the point where he can't walk faster than an awkward waddle, and he knows he needs to go to the hospital, but he keeps saying every single fucking night is the same damn thing. He keeps saying, I will go to the hospital when I win my money back. But he never fucking wins his money back. He is there every single week, and he makes more money in a month than I do in a year, but he is still almost $200,000 in debt.
Oh fuck.
And it is soul crushing to watch these people do this to themselves. And I fucking hate it. As someone who has been the victim of abuse from people who are addicted to this kind of crap, I just watch this stuff and I'm like, what the fuck are your families going through? What are you putting yourself through? What are you putting your children, your wife, the kids? What the fuck? So I am just, I love all my coworkers there. I absolutely adore them, but I am desperately trying to get away from my job. But everyone in the area is saying they're hiring, but nobody is calling back. I have put in 15 applications in the past month, and not a single
It is
one has
unfortunate
called back.
that is the case in across much of America right now, and it's not. I don't mean to be black-pilled, but I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, for a number of reasons.
Yeah, change your name to something ethnic.
That would help.
I shit you not.
Yes.
I shit you not.
No, seriously. Change your last name to Sanchez.
Or something Indian.
Yeah.
Can I change it to Netanyahu? Would that one help?
That one might. Goldsteinberg, Goldsteinberg, Witz, Find, that'll, something like that might work too. Maybe.
You are now Biscuitstein.
Yeah, that might work. Oh my goodness. I got very lucky where I happened to find a little pack with 4 allergy pills left in my backpack, so I have to buy some more.
I will say the big thing I want to do is I want to restore cars. I want to restore specifically old European cars.
Very based.
And that's kind of why I want to, because my dream car is a 1954 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Coupe.
Based, yes. Well,
and I'm kind of jealous. Yeah,
I'm
kind of jealous of a friend of mine down in. You're fine. I am kind of jealous of a friend of mine down in Tennessee because he has a 1936 Mercedes-Benz limousine that actually has the German Reich Eagle on it.
Bro,
it was an official limousine of an SS officer from the Third Reich, and I'm jealous because I really fucking want it.
That's crazy.
I have a Stahlhelm that still has the eagle and the mark of the Third Reich on it. I have it right here next to me.
TJ Franz for 5 has asked a question of you, Carnal. He says, Carnal, explain to Aiden how Danny DeVito is apex masculinity. Now, here's the problem. I don't think you need to overly explain it to me. I think I will agree almost immediately.
Okay.
Carnal, right. Do it. Fucking do it.
Explain to me, though, in a way that I will almost assuredly accept how Danny DeVito is peak masculinity. So, you might not like what it looks like, but it is what masculinity looks like.
it is actually what what masculinity does look like. Here's the thing, and in this comment thread, people brought up, "Oh, Henry Cavill." No, Henry Cavill is aspirational. He's not the standard of masculinity. Danny
He's also a
DeVito's
Jerseyman.
characters, and
Sad.
yes, Danny DeVito's aura, his presentation of masculinity, is basically the most visceral, carnal interpretation of what a man is. And despite all of that, you have to go down and realize, okay, despite being a womanizer, someone who's violent, angry, disgruntled all the time, he's still the kind of guy you want in your corner when shit goes south.
Oh, for sure.
That is he and the fact is, there's nothing feminine about Danny DeVito.
No.
Nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Despite the fact that he's
feminine.
like 4'11" or whatever, you know how tall Danny DeVito is. I don't really know. 5'1", something in that vicinity. Yeah, he is fundamentally, despite him being a dwarf. I mean, much like the dwarves in Lord of the Rings. You know, he's super masculine despite being tiny. There is nothing about him that is in any way feminine. I do agree with that completely. It's just kind of disgusting,
So,
and in a very masculine way, you know.
Yeah, let me Rings, Gimli is the greatest character in fantasy ever, and anybody
look
says otherwise,
I don't you cut out there for a little bit. I'm not sure if it's your internet or what. Sorry. Just letting you know.
Gimli is the greatest Lord of the Rings character ever, and nobody can convince me otherwise.
I could hear you that time, so good. It's not cutting out. Excellent. Probably just a little interruption. Just making sure.
This is exactly what I told him. I'm like, his brand of masculinity is purely carnal and visceral. It's jarring. It's even ugly. Yet it cannot be typified as feminine.
There's nothing feminine
once you
about
get over that,
Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Once you get over that, you start to see the more redeeming qualities: protective, angry, reliable, cunning, rabble-rousing, resourceful, and determined. His brand of masculinity definitely coalesces in the type of person you want in your corner when things go sideways.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
agree.
why Danny DeVito is peak masculinity.
I actually, like I said, I was already prone to agree, and yes, I agreed with your arguments there. Now, all that I had about this New York Post article is that an intern at the Washington Post said, we checked and made sure this isn't AI. So there you go. It's definitely not AI. Here's the headline that he's holding. So, however, for anyone who has used AI, I can tell you that you can be like, hey, put this picture into this photo, and it will do that.
Yeah, but that's...
So that
I don't trust Capitol Hill employees to be that thorough with AI.
My point being, it's super easy to do this. They just go, okay, well, no, you have to have a picture of a newspaper in there so you know it's from today. And there's some people saying that this picture is actually from years ago, but no, this headline and this newspaper is from the last week. That's in the photo. However, it appears that the photo itself, like the basis of it, might be from like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So I don't know if Mitch McConnell is dead or not. He's not been heard from besides this photo in a month.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. It would be
honestly, with how just fuck ugly Mitch McConnell is, it is going to be difficult to develop with AI unless he has 6 fingers.
No, AI's way past the 6 fingers thing. We got to get over that. Like, AI's moved way past the 6 fingers stuff. However, here's what it means, and this is the part that's kind of important, which is that the absence, what does it mean for the GOP now that Lindsey Graham is dead and Mitch McConnell very well might be dead? Hard to say, despite proof of life,
God, let it be
right?
true.
Well, here's what it will mean. Now, I don't care if the GOP loses in many cases, in many senses, because I want to punish the GOP for sucking. They don't deserve to be in power if they're not capable of representing a real adversarial position from the Democrats. Besides, Democrats, but instead of woke gay communism, it's just fucking Israel first. Neither one gives a fuck about America and the American people. And as long as that is the case, then both can go drown in a ditch, as far as I'm concerned. So until the GOP represents anything other than being equally as anti-American as the Democrats are, I cannot support either party and never will. I started out as a libertarian. I end up 15, 20 years later in the same position. I still come to my monarchist beliefs from a libertarian position, by the way. But here's what this means for the GOP. If both of these guys are dead or if they're out of commission, right? Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay,
Oh, no,
Argentina has won.
What?
Argentina has won.
Yeah.
I knew I had 2 minutes like, no!
Yeah.
No. No.
Yes. Thank you, God. God is real, and he made England lose.
Sarmer Reich this,
you know
Aiden.
what?
God.
You know what? You know what? No. The only thing that would make this better, this year of sporting events better, is if Spain goes on to win the World Cup, and then the Green Bay Packers lose their first 3 games. For those of you who don't know who the Green Bay Packers is, they are the biggest piece of shits in the
Oh yeah,
American
they
Football
certainly are.
National League.
Well, like, you know, okay. So I'll explain my American team preferences, which are totally just based on inherited ones. So they're not my own opinions, to be fair. I inherited these.
The Detroit Lions better be in there, Aiden.
Most people,
Otherwise, I'm disowning you.
people inherit their team preferences based on where they're from or where their families are from. So when it comes to American football, great band, by the way. When it comes to American football, I always root only for the Steelers. Let's go fucking Pittsburgh, okay?
You know, there's only one thing about the Steelers I don't like, and that is Aaron Rodgers, because he played for the Green Bay Packers, and he's a narcissistic,
not Roethlisberger or
egotistical
something.
asshole.
How long ago did Roethlisberger retire now, though?
Look, I'm sorry.
A while ago.
I'm sorry, Angry
been a while.
Biscuit, but in my humble opinion, the Lions are just the Midwest version of the goddamn Raiders.
So I root when it comes to American
except the
football.
Lions are actually good.
I root for, and I don't know enough about sports to have this conversation. Just the ones I automatically support. I can't have these conversations, but the ones I support are, when it comes to American football, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, and when it comes to baseball, it's the New York Yankees. I always I root for the Yankees. Okay, I love the Yankees.
You should have said the Mets.
I want to root for the Pirates. They suck. The Pirates fucking blow. They never win anything. Pittsburgh Pirates. They suck. They fucking suck. The Orioles do okay. I do not root for the fucking Ravens, despite being from Baltimore. I do not root for the Ravens in football, because Ravens fans are fucking nuts.
So
having grown up around them.
My favorite.
I'm a
thing
lifelong Dodger fan.
And my favorite thing to come out from the NFL fan base so far this year in the midseason was when Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears, when he was revealed to be the Madden NFL cover boy, the entire NFL and Madden fan base just collectively went, fucking why? Of all the players you could have gotten, you got the one guy whose entire highlight reel for the 2025 season is one single Hail Mary in the playoffs, and that's it.
By the way, good point, Roman Michigan. By the way, I respect the Mets as well. However, EDP445 was a Ravens fan. Yes, it's not the only reason I dislike Ravens fans, but Ravens fans can be nutty as shit. And I don't mean to say that about my own family, who are all insane Ravens fans, but Ravens fans can be nuts. They really can. So can Steelers fans, to be fair, but Steelers fans are much more. Also, I can tolerate going to a Steelers game and having a Pittsburgh beer. And I love going to a Pirates game. My favorite. I love going to a Pirates game, getting a fucking hot dog, getting a Steel Reserve beer. That's great Americana shit. I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is my peak of Americana. Steel City. Yeah. Love it. You know?
Oh, I go Motor City, America, all the way.
But they're similarly industrial towns, you know, working class,
which is why I have a lot of respect for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but, same thing with you know, in many ways Chicago and Detroit. Yeah. These were hardworking industrial American cities that now, I mean, by the way, Detroit Pittsburgh's done much better than Detroit. Unfortunately,
Pittsburgh still at least has some of the corporations still there, but Detroit got fucked over 700 ways from Sunday.
All the Carnegie stuff still based there in Pittsburgh to a certain extent. Anyway, sorry, this is way off into the weeds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, Aiden, if you and Bill ever come to Michigan during the fall, I'm taking y'all to a Lions game.
I lived in Michigan for like a year and a half, man. Up in Lake Orion? Lake Orion? That was it.
Yeah. The Huron.
No, Orion
Lake
was the name of the
Huron.
town. It wasn't, no, it's spelled Orion, but I lived in a town called Lake Orion for about a year. 6 months, something like that. That vicinity. Whatever.
I was gonna say, I am, actually, I'm not gonna say where I live.
Don't worry about it. I haven't lived there in a long time, but I lived there for a little bit. Yeah, it got cold, but I did like Michigan.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice. Anyway, let's get back into the stuff, which is that what does this mean for the GOP? Which is that blah blah blah. It's possible that both Mitch McConnell, we know Lindsey Graham's out of the race, obviously because he's dead, but two lawmakers whose influence stretched far beyond their votes. And that's the thing to be very aware of, regarding Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's seat was never really up for grabs. His constituents are a bunch of boomers, and they're a bunch of mega church, what's the right word to say this? People who read Schofield Bibles or have been raised on the tradition of Schofield Bibles, those kinds of Protestants, those kinds of.
Oh, I was gonna say that I was gonna say the English slang for the cigarette butt, but okay.
But yes, people who are. What's the word for it? What would you call Pentecostals?
Retarded.
No, the specific word they say to people. Fuck, why is it escaping me? This particular brand of Christianity that is.
Oh, dispensationalism.
Yes, dispensationalist is one word for it, but there's a more common one. Yes, they're Zionists, they're dispensationalists, they read their Schofield Bible. People like Pentecostals, which again, I hate that I'm shitting on Pentecostals so much, but they are a really big branch of it, and they're evangelicals. Yes, evangelicals. That was the word I was actually looking for.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. Thank you, R.L. Walnut. That was the word I was looking for. So, those people were always going to vote for Lindsey Graham because Lindsey Graham is a friend of Israel. And they think that again, these people don't think this stuff, like, cogently. They're not thinking about it in every second of every day. But the reason why they support Israel is because they think, well, if I support Israel, then I'm supporting the Jews, the true Jewish people, which means that at the end of the day, based on my Schofield Bible, based on my Protestant evangelical beliefs, means that when Israel builds third temple, builds the third temple, that Jesus will come back and we will all be raptured and I'll get to go to heaven. That's why they support someone like Lindsey Graham, who they think shares their same values, despite the fact that Lindsey Graham was a homosexual and didn't give a fuck. And I guarantee did not believe in Jesus. Just based on my opinion from his
I'm
actions.
pretty sure
A man who spent his entire life, and as I'm going to get into this, Lindsey Graham did not do this for money. He did it for the love of the game. He just loved killing people. I don't think that is a man of God. I don't think he believed in God to act that way and behave the way that he did over the course of his career. To just want to kill every fucking person he saw. Apparently. That's not godly, in my opinion.
No.
You're not wrong.
So I don't think that Lindsey Graham is in a good place right now. The people who voted for him repeatedly, thinking that he was going to bring about the end times in a way that they believe is positive, which I, by the way, I fundamentally disagree with. God decides. It's all on his timeline, and the idea that man can affect these things is nonsensical and heretical, in my opinion. That you think man, gets to decide God's timeline? I don't think so.
Pretty sure Bill said it best, that there are 1,000 stories in the Bible of man forcing God's hand and it never ending well.
It doesn't.
Correct.
So I understand why those people in, South Carolina were doing that on a religious basis, but Lindsey Graham was not your guy. He was a homosexual war hawk. Anyway, the twin setbacks leave Republicans with a 51-47 majority in the Senate as lawmakers begin what is expected to be one of the busiest stretches of the year, with only 7 weeks of scheduled session before November midterm elections. That's the other thing to keep in mind. Two of these very popular people were 7 weeks out from the midterms, and two of the most ardent neocon war hawks that exist. and who have become, in many ways, big Trump supporters, as Trump has changed his tune on many things, are out of commission, permanently or otherwise. Republicans
Almost
must
like God's
avert
doing the
another...
work for us.
Maybe. But Republicans must avert another shutdown while deciding whether to renew an expired foreign surveillance authority, pass Trump's request for billions of dollars in additional defense. By the way, this has been shot down. And there was only one Republican that voted for it. Sorry, got that wrong. The Democrats overwhelmingly voted against the defense spending. There was only one Republican that voted against the SAVE Act, because the SAVE Act's been passed. But now they need to vote for the referendum to fund it, right? SAVE Act is about to be passed, but they need to be able to fund it now. There's one Republican who voted against the SAVE Act funding. Would you like to guess who it was? And what his political ties, what country they could possibly be connected to? Randy Fine voted against funding the SAVE Act. Of course he did. One of another.
Wow.
Just completely by coincidence, another one of Israel's top guys.
Wow.
Not even a top goalie in that sense. He's one of them, you know? Crazy. Damn. What a coincidence. How could this keep happening to me? I've made my mistakes.
Oh, you had the perfect opportunity to quote the teacher. You had the perfect opportunity to quote the teacher from Incredibles. Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
the older I get, the more I identify with that.
I hadn't seen The Incredibles to this year, actually. It was a good film. Still, the absence of Graham and McConnell threatens...
my God! You did not just... You've never seen The Incredibles.
I did, this past year.
Worse than the God...
No, this past year I watched it. I watched it like 6 months ago.
Oh, Aiden, you almost gave me a heart attack.
I hadn't seen Megamind either until like 6 months ago, but I watched both of them.
Oh.
Quite recently. Yeah. Anywho, Graham, one of Trump's closest allies in Congress and among the Senate's most influential voices on national security, etc., etc. Okay, it doesn't actually matter. Avoiding another shutdown, passing a reconciliation bill, Iran spending requests, all this stuff, Russia sanctions, all this stuff, renewing FISA, that's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, all of this stuff requires there to be Republicans in the Senate. And without Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, the Republicans might be more of lame ducks than they were already kind of leaning towards as we go into the midterms. After the midterms, I'm not going to say it's going to be a bloodbath, but I don't think it's going to go well for the Republicans. They've done a very bad job with Trump's second administration. They've done a very bad job. They've made it seem as if, overwhelmingly, they are beholden to a foreign power, that being Israel. And it doesn't help when the Israeli government basically just asks, hey, let us take over for you, as we'll get into for a moment. But for the time being, Lindsey Graham's sister has taken over for him in the Senate, which is also very bizarre. She's been sworn in.
I saw that.
Yeah. Rather than selecting another politician, his sister.
Democracy. Yeah,
here's your democracy,
the whole point of democracy was to prevent a bloodline inheritance.
That you don't do bloodline inheritance stuff? Meanwhile, Lindsey Graham's sister gets sworn in into the Senate. Here she is.
What the fuck
it is interim. It is temporary. But you see why I find this whole thing very ridiculous. When push comes to shove, who do you pick to replace him? A relative. Hereditary lines.
Where you will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States. We need to see it. Anywho, she's been sworn in. She is his replacement. And I do believe, by the way, that with Lindsey Graham, he truly did do it for the love of the game. For the love of Zion. Because we can tell that he did because he died with a modest wealth. He died with a net worth of about $1.4 million, with congressional disclosures from May showing a lower end estimate of just over $600,000 and an upper estimate of more than $2.2 million, despite serving in Congress for 31 years. He ranked 294th among the 535 voting members of Congress, according to data from Quiver Quantitative. Now, that being said, here's the curious part. If his net worth is estimated at $1.5 million, understand that if that is 1.4, right? the vast majority of that came from Israel. 1 million of it did. So if he really never took any money, he just never made any money because he was worthless or whatever, no one wanted to buy him because he was in a seat that was very safe, which I actually think is why. He was in such a safe seat that no one bothered to buy him, except the Israelis, because they knew he could buy him. 1.4 million is all he is worth? That was his net worth? Well, pro-Israel PACs gave him $1 million. In a 30-plus year-long career in the U.S. government, that means he really only took money from Israel because he was in such a safe seat, which does kind of explain why he was so dedicated to Israel. They were the only ones willing to pay him. He didn't get money from anyone else. That's why he didn't die a multi-millionaire like the rest of all other politicians. Would explain why he was so dedicated.
That reminds me of another sellout.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another major sellout.
Who?
Although that sellout hung himself.
Who?
Judas Iscariot.
Oh, yeah. Very. Whoa, Jesus. Woo. Get that woman away from me. Yikes. Governor
I
of
that the hanging himself part would have gave it away. I'm kind of
That would have too. I mean, however, he apparently had part of his body explode. So, Bibi will attend the funeral. I did mention that earlier. That's part of it. Of course he will. I want to just give you a reminder as we end the Lindsey Graham segment here, who Lindsey Graham was and what he thinks about you and all other Americans who he served as a representative in government. We played this, of course, on the stream before, but just as a reminder.
All the anti-Seminites to all the isolationists, I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. All the
Whoops. By the way, he means any American who has any problem with Israel. I am not with you. I am with Israel. I will be with Israel to my dying day. Well, that day has come, Lindsey Graham, and I'm sure you are still with Israel. Now, speaking of, Bibi Netanyahu has a plan to unite the United States with Israel completely militarily. There's barely any difference in the wake, of course, of Lindsey Graham's death, using his death as impetus to do so. Let's hear Bibi talk about it.
Mr. Prime Minister, do you have a timeline by which you would like to see that U.S. foreign aid down to zero?
Yes.
So what they're doing right now, just to be clear, to clarify, Israel is moving from getting aid from the United States to becoming just part of the United States military. So essentially what they're doing is saying, okay, we're not going to receive aid anymore because we get criticism for receiving aid. So now we will just be essentially an arm of the U.S. military. That's what this whole move was about. Now it's been shot down currently, but that's what the move was about. So that they can't be criticized for being recipients of aid, but instead just be the United States military. One in one, collectively, collaboratively, Israeli military and the United States military as one.
It's military aid, actually. Yeah, we were talking about beginning it this year and going for 10 years, but we might shorten it. And that was something, by the way, that I did when I was first elected and came to Congress. We had financial, not military support, but financial aid to Israel. And I said on my first speech before the joint session of Congress that we're going to bring it down to zero. And we did that in 10 years. Every year went down until it finally disappeared. We could talk about that model. We're talking about that with the administration right now.
Well, Prime Minister, will that drawing down of foreign aid from the United States to Israel be compensated by the proposal to have a merging of some sort between our Pentagon and your military?
Yeah, I'm calling it.
Yep, I'm calling it. Yep, a merging between our Pentagon and your military. I'm calling it.
God.
If you consider yourself an American patriot, how could you in any way support this? The United States military functionally merging with a foreign country's military. I don't know how you could support it. I don't. No matter how much you love Israel, no matter how much you love the foreign country, how could you ever support this as a patriot?
From aid to partnership. So we take away the money that is given to Israel, which is one part. But the other part is we co-invest in equal measures in the new technologies that are needed to give our military and your military the advantage. So there are some unbelievable projects. So invest jointly and take the fruits equally. You move from...
I don't think so. Sure. This is the whole point. It's no longer aid. We're now complete and utter partners. In which case, I must ask, how can there be any criticism of the term Zionist-occupied government? Is that not completely and utterly accurate? I'm sorry. If this had gone through, and the United States merged militarily with Israel, is it not occupied by Israel? I would find it very difficult to make an argument against that, but if you have one, go ahead.
By all definitions, it would be an occupation. Because they already have a shit ton of power with half of our politicians in their pockets. Lobbying. And now they're just going to start lobbying our military. Yeah, it would be a fucking occupation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else it could be described.
Anyone who tries to say... anyone who would try to say otherwise would be the same idiots who would describe the American occupation of Japan as just a peacekeeping enforcement.
Sure.
That was a fucking occupation.
Japan wasn't allowed to have a military for 70 plus years. And they're only now just rebuilding it because the US can't protect Japan anymore. That's the reality. That's why we're allowing Japan to slowly rebuild their military and their navy, because the United States can no longer protect Japan from North Korea.
I really hope Japan makes another Yamato just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. But Japan can't be protected by the United States. It must have its own military. And that is part of the... I mean, we moved those THAAD missile launchers out of South Korea, protecting both South Korea from North Korea and protecting Japan from North Korea and from China. We moved our THAAD missile launchers out of South Korea and moved them to Iran, where they got blown the fuck up.
Well, to be fair, I'm just going to add, for anyone who doesn't already know, the camaraderie between the Japanese quote unquote IDF, the defensive force, and the United States Marine Corps is legendary.
Right? Something like that. Something like that. I know it's not that. It's
JDF.
They're quote unquote not army, which is literally just a fucking army. Like
JSDF. Yes, that's it.
Their quote unquote defensive force is defensive force in name only. If you ask any Marine who's ever been on those bases, they have fun when they do their drills together. The idea that the Japanese were quote unquote defenseless this entire time is laughable.
No. I picked my words somewhat carefully. I said a proper military they're starting to be allowed to rebuild. Because Japan has always, of course, been able to defend itself, but because of the stipulations that were made against Japan at the end of the Second World War, there was all this stuff about, well, under what conditions can Japan have a military, and what counts as military for Japan? They found all kinds of loopholes and ways around it. The Japanese absolutely do have a military, but it's not a military, in quotes, right? You know?
Yeah, quote unquote. But no, they've been rocking and rolling with the United States Marine Corps for literally ever since those things have been going on.
Baby.
They are in good hands. They're good. I'm not worried about North Korea. If North Korea wants to fuck around with Japan, that would just be a fun day.
But it is sort of the promise that we made to Japan. All of the Western allies did. You can't have an army. We will protect you, though. And I don't think that the United States, despite the fact that Americans, by the way, I know that I've banged on about this in the past, but if you can't see the propaganda that has happened before your faces over the past, in particular, last 6 months, to get you to hate Europeans, to try and erase and destroy every amount of goodwill that has been built between people of the same shared ethnic background, European ancestry people, in order to replace it with, but Japan is more compliant. That's what that's about. That's why you're being told to... Japan is our greatest ally, besides Israel, of course. Japan is our greatest ally, because they're compliant. And to hate your ancestors...
Germany to be and to hate your...
No, but I mean, that's the messaging has been. That's what all the stupid AC stuff and the World Cups...
I know, it's cringe and gay, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all designed to make you hate your European ancestors and relatives and be okay with the country that is compliant and the country that is least compliant with the United States, those being Japan and Israel. The United States is mostly compliant with Israel. It is not compliant with us. Yes, it is Jewish propaganda, indeed. But people fucking fall for it all the time. They fall for it all the fucking time. Unfortunately.
Part of me wants to start gushing about the U.S. Marine Corps, but that's because of my own bias. I was raised. My great uncle, U.S. Marine Corps, Korean War, Congressional Medal of Honor.
My uncle.
Fucking Ura Semper Fi.
My uncle, Marine Corps, Korean War as well. Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. He passed away. We believe he was exposed to Agent Orange. You know.
Oh shit.
Was Agent Orange?
No, it was Vietnam. Sorry, not Korea. It was Vietnam. Sorry, not Korea. It would have been too late. Yes. Sorry, I got confused. But yes. Yeah, that was Vietnam.
Yeah.
He died of prostate cancer very young, and that it was a specific type of prostate cancer that you really only see. I mean, this is 15 years ago now, man. But type of prostate cancer you really only see in Vietnam War vets or in people in Vietnam. So, so many American soldiers' lives were permanently cut short in many ways. Not just there on the killing fields, you know, on the fields in Vietnam and Korea, but as they got home as well. Anywho, speaking of a fucking disgusting warmonger, let's listen to more of Bibi Netanyahu.
From aid to partnership, and I think that represents what Israel is. And remember, the other thing is that we share with America unbelievable intelligence to save American life.
Oh, fuck off.
God.
You quite literally give the Americans wrong intelligence to get them killed. It has been shown and demonstrated in the past. The Israelis have given the Americans false intel to get them killed. Disgusting. But of course, he has there's no lows to which Bibi won't seek. None whatsoever.
General Keegan has said that when he was working in American intelligence, what Israel was giving the United States was worth, he said, 5 CIAs.
Except for it's quite literally full of lies and bullshit. You tell the Americans wrong shit so that they go and attack your enemies. It is quite literally, a lot of times, fake intel.
No,
it's disgusting to see. I've been on this before. He doesn't care. He hates Americans. He hates white people. You know, he hates Europeans.
I've already banged on the alleged Israeli intelligence.
Yeah.
I've already banged on that. Like, the number one problem with any intelligence gathering is the massive amount of data that it takes.
Yeah.
And sorting through the data and knowing which data is usable, which data is not usable.
Useful, yes.
The Israeli batting average is so insanely high. When it is correct, I have to say, when it is correct,
well, they know where to
their
direct.
batting average.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the problem. They know where to direct. It's not that they didn't give you wrong information; they give you bad information, and bad information is worse than. Yeah, their batting average and knowing exactly what's going on is so high. You cannot. There's not an algorithm that you could make to be that accurate and that in control without causing it.
Yeah, indeed. Part of that is also very true, that they do cause this stuff. They allow things to happen. They obviously, I mean, look, I don't think is it contested at this point that they allowed October 7th to happen? How else did that happen then? If they knew about it, they knew it was possible, they knew it was potential, they knew there were calls to do it, and they chose not to defend people. They chose not to. It took them hours and hours and hours to respond in a country where everyone is in the military. I'm sorry. It makes no sense. That it took you hours to respond to this attack that you had been warned was going to happen, you knew was going to happen, that you didn't prepare for. That, to me, makes it pretty clear that they allowed that to happen as justification. By allowing the killing of their own citizens to justify war, which is disgusting.
The fact we didn't pull our contracts for their inability to preempt that attack on their own country in that region, it just tells you that we know that what's going on here.
Yep.
we already know.
Indeed.
I
All
mean,
right.
It's also just what I mean. This is just more stating the obvious, but it's also just the fact that they've made everyone's around them, and somehow, what the fuck? Why did I just? What happened to my brain? I just stuttered.
Oh no, I do it all the time.
It happens.
As I was trying to say, they made enemies with every one of their neighbors, and yet they were still shocked, somehow shocked, that someone attacked them.
No, they weren't. They knew it was going to happen. So, U.S. Senate
Well,
Democrats.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're pretending. Yes. Yeah, they were pretending, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Senate Democrats have blocked a defense bill over Iran war and Israel integration. So that thing that BB was just talking about, that has been blocked. Senate vote 50 to 46. Did we talk about this before? The National Defense, I think I did bring it up, National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, rare setback. And the big thing is that, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say this, we have to thank the Democrats. Because every Republican voted for this.
Ew.
I hate saying that.
I know, ew.
But pretty much every Republican voted for this to give Israel power over the United States military. Is that not a wake-up call about why the Republicans delenda est? Every single fucking one of them voted to give Israel, to make them an equal partner in the United States military defense.
I'm gonna do something I'm not supposed to do and give an actual controversial opinion here, because it seems like we should be thanking the Democrats. I'm actually going to thank the Uniparty for this nonsense. I think there was some, because there was a House of Cards episode where they basically said, we can't let this happen, we can't let this pass. They brought in, senators under duress with the. I think that's what happened. I think there was a backdoor. They were like, we can't do this, but the GOP can't seem to be anti-Israel. Let's fucking nip this in the bud.
Whereas the Democrats can. Their whole thing right now is
the
anti-Israel.
Democrats,
But
the
understand,
Democrats can get away with being
farcical.
anti-Israel. I think this is uniparty.
It is
sanity. To be perfectly honest, I'm not.
When the Democrats are in power and they have something to gain from it, more so to gain from it, I should say, they will be just as pro-Israel as the Republicans are.
Correct.
Their temporary anti-Israel shit will get flushed down the damn toilet. That's how the Uniparty works. When the Democrats are in power, they will be just as pro-Israel as the Republicans are.
The fact that they got 50 votes to knock this down,
they're saying
just right on the line.
You know what it means, though. They're not voting out of their staunch beliefs that they shouldn't support this. They're saying, "Pay up. Where's mine?"
Yeah. Yes.
You gotta
that's
pay
exactly
me.
what happened.
You gotta grease the wheels if you want us to go along with this and go against our constituency, because it'll make us look bad. So you have to pay up. That's all this is. When it goes back to vote again, which I'm sure it will, I bet there'll be some more Democrats who go along with it.
I'm going to say I really think there was some GOP and Democrat coordination to basically say, no, let's not do this. And the Uniparty was the one that decided, not the Democrats. I don't think it was them. I think it was Uniparty. Because I don't think that many Republicans actually wanted to do this.
Well, here's a list of Republicans
I'm being
who
too
did.
optimistic.
Just to be clear, this is Shelby Moore Capito from my home state. Some other names you might know. All over here, Tom Cotton, Ted Cruz. Let's see.
Ted Cruz, I'm not surprised.
Well, obviously,
Ted Cruz is a diehard.
Josh Hawley.
Zionist.
Yeah, no, they all are. This is just the whole list of all the Republicans.
Yeah, I don't think Rand Paul actually wants this.
Well, Rand Paul did vote against it. He voted for the military merger with Israel.
Yeah,
Tommy Tuberville, Tim Scott, Rick Scott.
I'm not sure about. I'm not sure.
We did.
I think this was Uniparty. There were some backdoor deals on this one, because I'm seeing. Because the Rick Scott, Tim Scott, the Rand Paul, no, this was a performance.
I think so. The Democrats were just asking for some more money. That's why they didn't go along with it, I believe.
Yeah.
So
so I do agree with Carnal in the sense that this was a uniparty thing, but I'm more with you that this was more okay, so it was fucking uniparty. Everyone wants to support Israel because Israel has all the money. But the Democrats, I think you're right. The Democrats want their share and they're not getting it. Yeah, they want their share and they're not getting it.
So they're not getting their money.
Yes.
And they've been okay with that for a while, but they want some more, their palms greased, you know? Now, speaking of, though, I mentioned this before, House GOP breaks week-long standoff between Republicans and leaders and hardliners. This is regarding the SAVE Act, which of course is going to, the whole point of this is to protect the integrity of American elections. And who went against it? It's, in the end, Representative Randy Fine of Florida was the only Republican to vote no on funding the SAVE Act. Now, I didn't bother to bring this up before the stream. I didn't think about it, but Randy Fine is a Jewish man who loves Israel a lot. A lot. I'm trying to think if I can find like a representative image or clip to demonstrate Randy Fine's love of Israel. Let's see, I didn't think about this beforehand, but it should be pretty quick. It shouldn't take me more than a second to find anything. Oh yeah, when he voted illegally, allegedly. Here's one. What do we got? Here we go. This is the first thing I found of Randy Fine. This fat sack.
Now this
is from June of last year. To be fair.
Okay.
I know you were well aware of Iran's influence on, groups, terrorist organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. In an interview, though, last month, you said this when asked about how to treat Gaza.
In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional
You did fucking negotiate.
He's saying this about Gaza, though. He's saying this about Gaza, which is like 40% children. You can hate them, they're Muslims, whatever. Hate them. Are the Gazans, however, Nazi Germany? Are they Imperial Japan?
They're not.
Randy Fine thinks we should treat them as though they are. Disgusting fucking warmongering freak.
Surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply wrong.
But he's even wrong about we didn't negotiate with Japan. We fucking did negotiate with Japan.
We did.
That was the whole that was the whole Washington Treaty. I think fucking hell.
He's historically wrong. And it's just always bringing back the foundational modern narrative of the world begins at the end of World War II. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that many Americans understand. So everything must be put in the terms of World War II. The good guys and the bad guys. Japanese and Germans are bad guys.
Look, I'm just I understand. I understand that they're people. I understand that innocent lives will probably be lost, but I don't care. I wish Israel and Palestine a happy mutual genocide.
I don't really care what they do either, but unfortunately, if they just want to go to war and kill each other, I don't care. Unfortunately, the Israeli lobby controls the United States government in many ways. It is an undue, if not controls. Although they were literally just trying to do that, as I just explained, they just barely didn't pass. They have an undue amount of lobbying power over particularly Republicans. And all the Democrats want, all it takes for them to get on the same page is a little bit more greasing of the palms. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Randy Fine at least is honest about where his loyalties lie. As was Mitch McConnell. Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell as well, but Lindsey Graham certainly was. I'm not with you. I am with Israel. These are America last, Israel first people. Randy Fine is unabashed. This was just the first clip I found of Randy Fine, but he's a fucking lunatic. We've played clips of him in the past. So, as a result, following the death of Lindsey Graham, Trump has, I think it was it has started attacking Iran again. I don't know if it was using the memory of Lindsey Graham as an impetus. It's sort of what he said we listened to earlier. They attacked first, though. The United States attacked first. They launched strikes on Iran early Tuesday morning this past week, hours after President Trump said Washington was reinstating a blockade on Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. Now, I want to be very clear about this because I've seen a bunch of fucking boomer right-wingers on Twitter claim that Iran just started the war back up again. What the fuck are you talking about? We attacked them out of nowhere again. Again! We attacked them out of nowhere in the first place. We start peace,
Again,
then attack.
we shouldn't be there. And if we're gonna be there, fucking commit to the bit, man. I mean,
they can't.
We're the United
we can't
States.
take it. We can't take it.
I know.
We tried.
I know.
That's the thing. We did commit to the bet, and we couldn't do it.
No,
Too many right-wingers concerned about Gaza and
didn't
civilian plight. I am. I don't. I mean, it's all brown people. I don't really care that much. The problem is, I don't like when the people talking about civil rights and how they care about all this kind of shit. They care about this stuff, then go and brutalize a population that is overwhelmingly children. You know, you have to be ideologically and morally succinct. If you're, that's all I ask. You have to be consistent. If you want me to care about,
it's
children in Israel, then you have to care about children in fucking Palestine, okay? You know?
It is incredibly ironic that they obsess over accusing Nazi Germany of all these evils of conquest and starting wars and
trying
this,
to
that,
conquer
and the other.
Lebanon.
Meanwhile, meanwhile,
Israel is a
Israel and the
conquering
United States
state.
is doing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the important part.
It's like hypocrisy.
It is. It's always hypocrisy. Here's the important part. Iran does what it said it was going to do. They attacked Bahrain and Jordan and the UAE. They started attacking other Arab states that were going through the strait. They said they were going to do that because these countries are not removing themselves enough from influence and interactions with the United States. So if the rest of the Arab nations want to go through the strait, they have to divest themselves of their relationship whatsoever with the United States. And
that is Iran's right. I can't argue with that.
They said they were going to do it.
I've got nothing.
They said they were going to do it. The
Yeah.
United States reopens warfare against Iran by attacking first. And so Iran responds by attacking its own neighbors. And you might think, well, why the fuck would Iran attack its own neighbors? Same reason they have the whole time. It's saying, if you are peaceful and deal with the United States, you cannot come through the strait. The United States is our enemy. And the enemy of our enemy, or sorry, the friend of our enemy is our enemy, right? That's all it is. People seem confused by that, but that's literally all it is.
It's not incorrect. I mean, this is when the whole Ukraine-Russia thing kicked off. I'm like, well, Ukraine was a shitty neighbor. In this case, Iran and Jordan were shitty neighbors. They should have minded their P's and Q's.
Well, the whole thing is that it disrupts it also disrupts the entire oil trade in the region by Iran attacking Bahrain, Jordan, and the UAE. It disrupts not just anything coming in and out of the strait, but it disrupts their oil trade as well. It disrupts all trade coming out of Bahrain, Jordan, and the UAE.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're going to fuck with us, you're going to ally with our enemy, who has proven that they are distrustworthy. Because the United States has been distrustworthy the entire time. When we killed the Ayatollah, we were in the middle of peace talks with Iran. That's when we decided to attack and kill their leader, was when we were in the middle of peace talks. The Iranians have every reason to believe
I love
that we are distrustworthy.
I love the sack on Iran. I love the sack they showed when after we killed that Ayatollah, that they just said,
thank you. Oh,
we can replace him.
Thank you, Slosher, so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Yes, hail. Let's go. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, continue. Thank you, Slosher.
No, it's fascinating because, as I was saying before, it's like and on top of this, we have this legislation to sanction Russia after completely kneecapping getting any other source of gas and oil from that region. We're strengthening Russia's power and economic viability by Europe is completely dependent on Russia. Completely. Like,
yes, unfortunately. That's why the United States blew up the Nord Stream pipeline.
And they're just going to have to replace it because there's still no other supplier. there's still no other supplier.
Well, you
So,
understand. Now look at these series of events and understand why. Blow up Nord Stream, make Europe more dependent on the Middle East, make Europe more dependent on Iran. Then start a war with Iran. Encourage Europe to join the United States and Israel in its war on Iran to gain control of Iran's oil. Welcome to the
it's not
whole
going to
setup
work.
that worked for about that happened for about 3 years to set up. There it is. There's the sequence of events. You know.
It's not going to work, though. You're just going to strengthen Russia's position.
Russia is
Who
more
are these
stable to work with
amateurs?
in that sense. Yes.
Yeah, you're just
Which
you're
I
just
hope the
strengthening.
fuck they do strengthen Russia's position. Because right now, honestly, right now I would. Fuck God, how do I even put my thoughts into words right now? Why is my
Are
tism
you learning
acting up?
Russian? Are you learning Russian right now?
I am learning Russian right now
Да,
and German.
товарищ.
You're ahead of
I
me.
used to know. I used to know how to tell people to go fuck themselves in Russian, but I don't anymore.
What suka b'yet?
It's always the swear words. It's always the swear words that I learn first in, because I just
Everyone
like,
always does.
Yeah, when I have some friends that I play Forza with that are from Germany, and when I told them, hey, I want to learn the German language, they're like, great, what do you want to learn first? I said, how do I tell someone to go fuck themselves?
It's particularly in
That's how you
gaming.
know you're a man
It's the
of
most
culture.
important things to learn. Yes. I actually don't know how do you say fuck
Oh,
yourself in German.
I did post 2 images in the chat. That's the
Oh, yeah?
helmet.
Let me see.
Nice.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I
It
hope it's
is
also fixed
legitimate
by
too.
tomorrow's spoon. I know he's still worrying about what's going on. So the attacks in Iran, by the way, have continued. This was from a week ago that this started. They are still continuing. We are officially back at war with Iran. The blockade's back on. Strikes on Iran increasing. Threats to halt Mideast energy exports. Great. Remember when gas got up
Thanks.
to
I
like
hate it.
$130 a gallon earlier this year? Remember how they went down?
Fucking dollars a gallon?
No, for a not a gallon, sorry, for a barrel. Not a gallon, a barrel. You're
Liter,
right, sorry.
a barrel.
A barrel.
I was gonna.
130 a barrel.
What the?
Yeah, sorry, my bad. That was an extreme error. 130 a barrel. It went down to like 90, and now it's gonna boop. Where do you think it's gonna go from here? Now you've started this war back up. Gonna go back up, start approaching, increasing, up towards that maximum again as the midterms loom. Great. And I don't know what's going to happen with this, but the war is back on. Now, curiously, while the war is back on between the United States and Iran, the war between Israel and Lebanon has paused. On paper, Israel and Lebanon agree to renew ceasefire as Iran launches deadly attack on Kuwait airport. As I said, what Iran did was go, okay, the U.S. is attacking us again. We're going to do the exact same thing we did before. When the U.S. originally attacked Iran, we're going to attack our Arab allies and neighbors because they are dealing with and working with the United States. Now, all of a sudden, ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. Great, right? Except, no, there isn't a fucking ceasefire because the Israelis do not give a fuck about such things at all. Israeli blasts, drone flights hit Lebanon as 6th round of Rome. This is while they are in fucking talks, peace talks with Lebanon. The Israelis are striking them. 6 rounds. Attacking border towns. The towns the names of which have disappeared from, maybe they never existed in it, to be fair. The Apple Store, Apple Maps. Just from Lebanon, though.
Apple was
all those other countries. The weird thing is that all the countries around Lebanon have all their little towns listed, but not in Lebanon. Country, again, 30% Christian. Just to be clear.
You're giving them far too much credit.
I don't know, maybe. But the reality is Lebanon is 30% Christian. And the Israelis, despite being in peace talks with them and having declared a ceasefire, have continued to bomb the shit out of them. My point being all this, NPC, Lebanon, bad, North Lebanon, good, South Lebanon, poo on a stick, whatever you think about it. These are our greatest allies. Israel, they make a ceasefire, and they don't cease fire. They lie. They lie, they cheat, they steal. How are these good allies to the United States when they lie about everything? They are in peace talks as they are actively bombing the shit out of the Lebanese. I wouldn't want to be allies with them.
Peace with the serpent is alliance with death.
Yes.
Always.
Christo says he doesn't care what religion they are. I don't really either. But unfortunately, many people do. Many Americans really do. They only give a fuck if the people that they're killing are Christians. And I do kind of understand that. I do kind of understand that. That they only care if they're Christians. Or they only care if they're white. But
okay, I don't know how you're gonna feel about what I'm about to say, Aiden.
But
shoot! Here's how I look at it. Here's what I think. I do not hate Muslims as a people. I want to see them convert to Christianity, come to Christ, and come to heaven. But Islamic militants who slaughter and rape and maim and destroy.
They follow a retarded sand religion because they are too low IQ to be able to understand Christ. I'm sorry. I mean, anyone can. The promise of God and his redemption is open to all. But they follow the religion they do. And Muhammad had such great success in the region that he did by appealing to the people who existed in that land, who are low IQ.
Oh, I am well aware of this, Aiden. I'm well aware of this, but that's the thing. That's my hope, is that more of them do come to Christ, but I also understand a lot of them won't.
No.
Christ did say, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one.
Absolutely. Yes.
He didn't say sit on your hands and do fuck all.
Oh no, and that turn the other
If you're
cheek. Complete lack of understanding from the modern modern mindset what turn the other cheek means. No. Strike me as an equal.
Turn the turn the other cheek was essentially just from my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Well, it was essentially just like, if someone's gonna talk shit about you,
make them say it to your face.
Ignore it. Yeah.
It's
make
really
them say it to your face.
If they slap you with the back of their hand, right? That's how you would slap a woman or a slave. They slap you with the palm. That's how you would slap a man. So when he says, hit the other cheek, right? It's saying, treat me as an equal, not as a slave or a woman. Very based. Does not mean just abuse me. It means attack me as an equal. I can take it. That being said, look, Middle East shit is this old stuff with Israel. It sucks. Can we all have a little bit of fun laughing at the gays for a bit before we head out here? Guys, let's...
Of course.
Let's laugh at the gays, shall we? Because, oh my god. Now, also, look, put your fucking
I work at a
cringe
casino,
helmets
Aiden.
on.
I laugh at the gays all the time.
Because this is gonna be terrible. I do apologize for what you're about to see.
What in the holy fuck is that thing?
Some sort of trans thing. I don't know. Gay, trans
That is
thingy.
an abomination under
However,
God.
It's the sycophancy that you're about to see in this, of all these celebrities just clapping in veneration of the gay, tranny. This stuff, the woke is being put away, as we talked about. And it's happening very clearly because all the institutional support is just that, yes, it existed in places that financed projects that are currently being produced, like the Odyssey. But that support is draining. The support that makes it so, you can't disagree with these things. All that stuff's... the stuff in the Middle East, the stuff in the rest of the world, global politics, it's more important than that kind of weird gay politics right now. So, woke is being put away, in that sense. Also, it's kind of outlived its usefulness. However, of course it still exists. Is this Elon's kid? Maybe. I think it actually is. I think this actually is Elon's kid. Yeah. No, Vivian Wilson? Is that their name? That can't be... It looks a lot like Elon Musk's kid, but I don't think that is. Ugh. Social media, Canadian Canadian. Oh, yes! Eldest daughter of Elon Musk. Yes, this is her. This is Elon Musk's daughter.
Oh,
here to tell you, while she is being oh my god, excuse me, while he is being celebrated by a bunch of celebrities. It's a guy.
Yes,
come on,
thank
it's a boy.
Thank you, Carnal. Do not satisfy this creature with a pronoun.
But just
call it an it.
Watch the sycophancy here in display. It's crazy.
Important issue. We need more gays in government. We need more gay people.
God, I hate
we need
this
them.
fucking
We
voice.
need
Oh
more
my
gay
gosh,
people.
it's in the
And
government.
no, not for any admirable reason.
I do like this part, not for any admirable or real reason. We're done pretending about that shit just because we want to fucking take over. At least
Thank you
that
for being
part, yeah.
transparent.
About that part, yeah.
And like wanting equality or representation, or maybe to do something about the furthering wealth divide.
Oh no, Brave really broke. It broke worse.
No, none of that. The reason we need more gay people is because everyone is chopped.
Oh my god, everybody's chopped. That's why I need a His fucking vocal fry is unbelievable. Disgusting.
Okay, I think Spoon would agree with me on this. But I genuinely believe there should be an iron-fisted policy that if anyone speaks in such retarded manner like this, they should be put into an institution.
The performative laughter of all these comedians reacting to this, we're just like, is chopped. And then just then be like, oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh god. Jesus, what a fuck! It's so performative and
Okay,
cringe
to be fair,
and
as Chad is pointing out, Lindsey Graham has died. A vacancy is available for more homosexuals.
Well, they replace him with his
This is
sister. I
aptly timed.
don't know how she swings, but you know,
Well,
he's quite literally been replaced by his sister, who looks just like him.
Let's just say that a vacuum has occurred.
A gay vacuum. Yep.
Yes.
Everyone is
It sucks.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
gosh, look at all these cigarette butts.
This is so fucking cringe. That's the worst vocal fry I've ever heard, by the way. And speaking of which, a podcast I used to listen to, it's been a couple years since I listened to it religiously, but the Your Mom's House podcast, which was run by Christina Pajitsky and Tom Segura, who were a comedian couple, have announced that they are getting a divorce. But they used to do a segment on just identifying the worst vocal fries that they could identify, and it was just about, you know, displaying, wow, look at how bad this person's vocal fry is. I must say, Elon Musk's son has the worst vocal fry that I have ever encountered after listening to a podcast for over 10 years where they intentionally sought out the worst vocal fries imaginable. And the fact that these comedians are all losing their minds over just saying, everyone is chopped, is the most performative, fake, and gay shit I've ever fucking seen. It's truly despicable, disgusting, and retarded.
Thank you. I will speak on it. Thank you.
Jesus, someone needs to put trans in their place. I will speak on it. These people are insufferable.
Thank you. Let me lay out the problem. Our country's image on the world stage is a disgrace. Why is this something we need to address? There are quite a few reasons.
I mean, that is
for one.
Okay.
That's true, but not for the reasons I guarantee that he thinks it is.
Yeah.
He has no idea why, because he's a retarded troon.
It would give young people something to aspire to. We want young people to be involved with their local.
Oh, did it break again?
You want young people
communities.
You want young people dancing.
Yeah,
in
they
dildo
want young
suits
people
in
is
the middle
what
of the
it.
fucking street.
They just want young people. You could just stop there.
What?
I want young people. Yep, I know.
My favorite thing about the queer community, I will say this up front, my absolute favorite thing about the queer community is the fact that every single time they say we don't want your kids, they would immediately follow it up by, so send your children to our pride parades.
Of course. They do. They do. I mean, they've been, you know, we're coming for your children. Remember that from like 5 years ago now? They just say it openly.
Not only did they sing, "We're coming for your children," we went through
And it
the
was full of
goddamn.
pedophiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually found who they were, and yes, they actually did go for your children.
What?
How
could this have happened? Who could ever have seen this coming? It's almost like that's how they reproduce, is by molesting children. Weird. Anyway,
yeah, there's this YouTuber called Laser Pig. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yes.
But he did an entire video about where the first 10 minutes is just him ranting about straight people being upset with queers. It's like, dude, this is a military analyst video. Shut the fuck up about the fact that you take it up the butt.
Yeah, I know.
And
They can't help themselves, though, because that's how they reproduce. They don't make children naturally, so they have to either molest children or allow children to be molested.
Yeah, and the other funny thing was that he said, and I've been to drag shows and pride parades, and we have never gone after children. And he unintentionally put in photos of him at drag shows where you can see in the background children
There's
being
children.
involved. So he had to remove the video and re-edit it to remove those photos.
Now,
Oh God.
you know, when
Like,
I was
oh,
in high
you
school, right?
fucker.
So from age, I might have been like late 12. I think when I got accepted, I was 12, but I think it started when I was 13. So from 13 to 18, I went to Baltimore School for the Arts, which is in the center of Baltimore's queer district, art district. So every summer, a block away from my high school was the Gay Pride Parade and Gay Pride Festival. And when I
I'm so
first went
sorry.
there, no, hang on. But when I first went to the Pride Festival in like 2003, right? Because it was just right up the street. There's a bunch. People are selling candy. There's carnival games, all kinds of stuff like that. So we walked up to it. Obviously, the street's blocked off. I can't even get to my bus, right? It was quite family friendly. I would say that it was a bunch of artists. There was a couple people in like weird get-ups, but it was overwhelmingly just kind of a yeah, I went to a gay school. Of course I did. It was overwhelmingly though like an art show. Arts and crafts and people making things that they were selling. 4 years later, excuse me, by the time I graduated, it was everybody in BDSM gear. The people on stage were dressed in BDSM gear and humping each other and faux fucking each other with dildos on stage, which is not the way it was literally just 4 years earlier. I watched that shit happen in real time a block away from my high school. About how it went from, oh my god, we're not allowed to get married. It's so repressive. Into, yeah, we're just gonna, and there were children there, because again, 5 years earlier, it was just like an arts and crafts show, and then it turned into a degenerate sex show within half a decade, and because that's what it's always about. You ease them into it
by design.
Yes, indeed.
There was I'm not gonna say what high school I went to, but in my high school there was 2 queer clubs. There was the less popular one, which was the gay guys club, and then there was the lesbian club. And the lesbian club would get in a little bit of trouble every once in a while because they would target girls that they thought were sexually attractive but were in relationships with men, and they would continuously harass them to try and make them lesbian, even though they constantly preach that you can't make someone a
Oh no, but
lesbian
they
as
act
they're
that way.
born a lesbian.
Hang on,
And
TJ.
it's like,
yeah. TJ France for 5 says, Aiden, have you heard about the gay cruise ship getting turned around in a port in Turkey? I have not. Thank you for the 5 though. I'll look it up though. Gay cruise ship. But that's the thing, right?
Yes.
They always say you can't turn someone gay, but then they act the opposite. When I was in high school, I was in art school. I was in gay school. Everyone around me was gay, but I was clearly straight. However, as a 13 to 17-year-old girl, women, girls age or mature differently. So I didn't feel any kind of romantic or sexual attraction to anyone until I was about 17, That might be a little late, but I think for women it's not totally unusual. No, I know boys start to feel sexually attracted when they're like 11, right? 12, something like that's when they start to
no,
like.
I was gonna say. No, I was gonna say. I remember very specifically being in elementary school, the 4th grade, and there were 2 girls who were legitimately in a actual cat fight, clawing at each other,
Yikes.
ripping their hair out, and everything over Justin Bieber.
Yikes.
Uh-huh.
But at least for me, I was a late bloomer. But I knew I was like supposed to be interested in relationships in high school, but I just had none naturally. So the relationships I got involved in high school were with women because they were unassuming, right? We can just hold hands. Maybe we could kiss even. It was that kind of stuff where I could feel like I was developing normally as a young adult, doing the things that young adults do, even though I wasn't interested in it at the time. So until I was about 17, and then when I turned like 17 or 16, late 16, early 17, then I was like, oh, I like boys, right? But up until then.
Wait a minute, Aiden. Are you telling us that Bill was your sexual awakening?
No, I was 17. I was in high school still. But many years ago. I'm 36, man. But like I dated this girl.
I was just imagining you walking up and like Bill's standing there drinking, half drunk, and then you just walk up, you're like, "Damn, boy, damn,
No,
boy,
I was
you hot."
I was like 26 when I met Bill. 27 almost. Yes, about that. We've been together nearly for about 9 years.
Drunk Englishman.
It's been that long? 7 years.
There we go.
7 years, not 9 years. But when I was in high school,
How
because
dare
it
you
was
call
not
him
because it
English?
was non-assuming, it's Baltimore City, so prepared for this. People know this already, but I dated 2 girls in high school. Both of them were black. Because
Gross.
it's Baltimore City,
Gross.
where it's 70% of the population is black, and we didn't do anything other than
Grosser.
make out and hold hands. So like,
ill.
Girls,
Okay.
all girls are a little bit gay, by the way.
Aiden.
Just saying.
My mom's not.
You know,
You say that.
You know, on this topic, it's funny because I'm hearing about there's another YouTuber, and
Not
she
Jewish
does
and I'm not
she's a
bisexual.
lesbian.
Just find women
She's a
attractive.
lesbian YouTuber. She has this like cartoon with green hair, and she does animation and whatnot. And she did this video where she's like, "I'm lesbian, but my brain doesn't think so. Like my body doesn't think so. Like I have dreams. Whenever I have like erotic dreams, it's only with boys." I'm like, yeah, that's because your body
Because you're
knows.
straight. You know, again, being an awkward teen, you know, women, we develop differently. So I didn't feel sexual attraction to men until I was about 17, because I just didn't feel sexual attraction to anybody. But I was like, well, I'm supposed to be in a relationship because that's what teenagers do, right? And so I was like, well, I guess I'll go out with these girls and we'll hold hands and maybe make out. But I felt nothing. Like I didn't know at the time because I hadn't experienced that yet, you know. So I thought I was gay until I was, and then even for years later, I thought like, well, I must be bi because, you know, I've only been I was previously attracted to women, or I thought I was because my girlfriends were women. The people I had dated were girls, right? And then, you know, I got a little bit older and realized, no, that was just some weird adolescent bullshit. Anyway, so speaking of though, this was the article that was mentioned in that super chat by, make sure I get this correct, who sent
TG
this?
France.
TG France, thank you, says Turkey blocks American LGBTQ plus cruise from docking. Thank God you blocked it from docking, citing moral standards extremely based. Extremely based. If you're gay, why would you go to Turkey? They're gonna throw you off a roof. I guess they don't do that in Turkey anymore, do they? But anyway.
Well, let's just say
Turkey.
Lindsey Graham didn't get any Turkish delight.
Oh, I'm sure he got some Turkish delight. There's certainly gays there too. There's gays everywhere. Unfortunately or fortunately. Anyway, let's finish this horrible video with Elon Musk's son.
Who is going to aspire to looking like bleached cauliflower? Nobody. Secondly, there's a lack of respect. Other countries would respect us if we were more...
Just white hate. They're interjected for no reason. Just Blanche cauliflower.
Yeah.
You look like a Blanche cauliflower though by your own fucking admissions. However, despite the fact that you're a man, most people on Earth would find you more attractive than someone who had a different skin color. Even of their own same skin color. That's just what the attraction data indicate.
More.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, how transgressive.
You're dealing with bad hair and makeup across the board. It is a clown show where all the clowns...
That's very ironic. That's very ironic, bozo. I mean, I think we're all bozos on this bus, but fuck, you're lead clown in this circus.
Who's gonna tell it?
Fucking A.
Are ugly. Which is kind of a normal clown show now that I think about it, but like, whatever.
Dude, what the fuck? It's so disgusting, though, and repulsive that this person is getting all of these platitudes and, look, you are neither funny, nor are you entertaining, nor does anyone give a shit. So, a couple
things.
The
most depressing thing about this, Aiden, is that this individual looks like Pearl Davis got a glow up.
He does. Couple things as we end off. I would say this, is that the Moroccans rioted in England, of course, after the World Cup loss to France. Even though they weren't even in France or Morocco, they were rioting in England, because diversity is our strength. Look at this. Look at the fucking state of the street. Now, they didn't, of course, just riot in Morocco, Paris had to prepare for the loss. Look what they had to do. Put up all this shit. It board up all the windows and doors, of course, because they know the Moroccans are going to lose, which they did. Even if they didn't lose, it wouldn't matter. They'd riot anyway because they are not Western people. So the reaction was justified, because what did they do? They went and fucking rioted and tore apart France and set it on fire, as it often is.
Police are going in.
Wait, this is the same one from, no, this is in Paris, it says. It's in the, what? This is clearly English, though. Same scenes in France. Oh, no, it's just another scene from the UK. But they apparently fucked up. Sorry. That's just my, bookmarking being incorrect. So, they burned down Paris, of course, as well. They set it on fire. They were right to put up those guardrails. Now, before we end, I want to end on something pleasant and nice. Despite the fact that this man has passed from this earth. Sam Neill, he made a lot of videos during the COVID pandemic that I'm not going to play a lot of because he was very in favor of lockdowns and very in favor of the jab and all that kinds of stuff, as every celebrity was. And so I'm not going to really blame him for that. But what he did do during lockdowns is he made a lot of videos to try and make people happy, to try and brighten people's spirits. Sam Neill certainly brightened my life, not only again from his fantastic horror performances in the likes of Possession, Event Horizon, In the Mouth of Madness, of course, as his position and role as Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park, but in my favorite position of his as Merlin in Merlin. And he seemed to be a consummate professional. He may have had political beliefs, but I don't think any of us know what they really were. I'm sure he was some sort of liberal. He was just a consummate professional. He was always seemingly a good guy to work with. And I want to leave you with some wholesome scenes of Sam Neill, because some of these are extremely wholesome. He seems to have been a genuinely good person. I don't know. Didn't know him, obviously. Never met him, unlike some people actors who've been in films that I've loved, I've met in real life at conventions, at least been able to said hello to them. And you can get vibes from people in real life, I think, more than you can even on screen. But Sam Neill seemed to be a legitimately cool guy. I'll leave you with a little bit, we got 2 clips, just 2, of Sam Neill.
I don't know if you've ever cuddled a duck. This is Charlie. Loves cuddling. It's very
silent, sorry, quiet.
And probably more soothing for me. Say hello, Charlie. Don't be shy. You gorgeous duck. Yes.
I mean, anyone who's good around animals, and he didn't just have ducks. He had a whole farm in New Zealand. He raised sheep, he raised all kinds of animals, pigs, all kinds of things. But I wanted to end on this one in particular because I think this is a very nice motivational video that he made during the pandemic that was very good. That's very wholesome and positive, and that I think all of us can really take something away from positive for this evening. Thank you guys all so much for showing up. I'm sorry that Spoon couldn't hang out. We will be back, I think, on the new channel tomorrow. I will try to shill it. So make sure that you guys know where it is. I'll get all of our friends, Harry Robinson and Blamblas, and everybody else to make sure they shill it as well, of where our new podcast will be tomorrow. So it will be on a new channel. On Overcast. Actually, the channel is live, so hang on. Before I leave, let me make sure that I can send you guys the channel here now. It's spelled strangely. Here it is. We have 0 subscribers actually, because I've not shown it anywhere yet. So, if you would like to subscribe, please do so. Oh, where am I going to post this? I can't post in the chat here. Right.
As you do that, I'm going to share some insider baseball about the whole Daily Wire nonsense, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going to tweet it out. I can't, because we're restreaming, I can't post it in the chat. I forgot. But if you follow me on Twitter, hang on, this little moth. Oh, don't you see it? It just attacked me. Where'd it go?
You were attacked by a moth?
Yeah, I was trying to pick him up, but he got a little bit aggressive. Where'd he go? There you are.
I was gonna say I didn't want to interrupt anyone,
Go
but
ahead.
I
I'm
did
trying to catch a
post
moth.
I did post my art collection in the chat.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh, fuck yeah. Guys, what I'm about to do is on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, which I presume many of you do, not all of you, but if you do follow me on Twitter, Aiden Paladin on Twitter, I will post a link to the Overcast this evening in just I know they can't attack. He was trying to be close to me because he's a friend. All right? No, I like mods. The name of the channel is It's Overcast Live on YouTube. Again, I'll shill it out tomorrow. I'll shill it out tonight as well. But for this evening, let's end it with some very positive words from Sam Neill, shall we?
Do I have a dream? I think I'd like a night where there's no dreams. I'd like a morning when I wake up and there's really nothing on the news.
I don't think I'm probably gonna have to pause this because there's music in the background, but now I keep being worried that my earring is a moth. Okay. About the copyright because it might just take the whole fucking stream down. That's the problem. Such nice things for him to say, though. I think this is true. Wouldn't it be? I mean, it would be great. Unfortunately, it's not the way things are, but it would be great.
Well,
it would be great
if there are filthy Xenos in the galaxy, I would like to exterminate them. In the name of the God Emperor of mankind.
Moths are not dangerous to me, Soul and the Lich. I was literally trying to pick him up so I could show him to the camera, but he flew away. That's what I was trying to do. That's why I kept zipping around, was actually looking to try and pick anything. Nothing never happens, but I also do wish that there is nothing happening. I agree with Sam Neill on that.
Let's just be nice.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Nice.
I loved Sam Neill. If you do get a chance, go check out Merlin, which is on YouTube, 1998. It's completely available to watch there. 3 hours long. Fantastic. In my opinion, the best adaptation of the Arthurian cycle. I'm so sorry that we were only joined by Spoon for a little bit tonight. But thank you so much. Thank you so much to Carnal Conservative and to Biscuit, the Angry Biscuit. Should I call you Biscuit or Angry Biscuit? I didn't really ask. But
you can call me Biscuit. If you
I was shooting it to Carnal.
If you want to call me by my real name, I don't mind.
Well, I will call you by
prefer.
Angry Biscuit for the sake of the stream, and thank you so much to Carnal Conservative for joining me. While Spoon has had some issues reconnecting to Discord, and while Bill's not feeling well, hopefully we'll be back next week with a normal show, and then also we will be on the new channel It's Overcast Podcast tomorrow with myself, Spoon, Scrump Monkey, Harry Robinson, and Blambast Britannica. To just kind of, I think, do a bit of a lads hour, like I said, spiritual successor to Unpopular Opinions. That will be tomorrow, and I'll be sure to shill that out on my Twitter. So, check it out immediately. I'll show the link to the channel here in just a moment. Look at all these mods. You can see them behind me. I just realized. Anyway, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me. Cheers.